Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday the 17th, and my name is Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? And man, what a week.
Ooh.
Big E3 week.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be spending the whole show on. Want to say up at the beginning, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones later this week. It should be up by Friday, at the latest Saturday. But, you know, we want to kind of do our own show specifically with this season and then talk about, you know, the season finale and then, you know, speculate what's going to come ahead. So you just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time. But yeah, this show is mostly, you know, we're going to spend on E3. I don't know if we'll talk about comic stuff. We might hold that off till next week. I think that might be a good idea. What do you think?
Okay.
Sound good?
We just have a ton from E3. Like, that is going to take up so much of the time.
Exactly. We'll see where we're at. Depending on how long the E3 stuff takes. I think it'd be probably best if we hold off on it. I've got some notes here. I don't know if you do about this week, but it all depends. If this starts to run over, you know, we'll just we'll hold it up till next week, and that'll just be more comic stuff. So, but yeah, man. You know, first off, man, how was your week?
It was good. It was good. It was busy. I spent the weekend in Atlanta for the Jeopardy audition. That was cool. That was a fun thing.
How'd that
go? We'll see. You know, I'll know if they call.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I've never been to anything like that. It sounds kind of exciting.
Yeah, it was fun. It was not like as formal or hardcore as I thought it was going to be. It was really relaxed, really laid back. It made you remember, like, oh yeah, this is a game show.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you kind of see how the meat was made? Did you see all the behind-the-scenes stuff? Or, like, did they set up anything? Like, did it look like Jeopardy when you were doing it? Or
not really. Like, it was...
Not really?
It was, we did it, you know, they had it in, like, a meeting room at a very nice hotel in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
And it was, you know, we went in... we had, like, little paperwork we'd filled out, you know, all that stuff. And it's a 50-question test, and then you play, like, a mock Jeopardy game. You play 3 at a time. And
cool.
And that goes until whoever's administering the interview is like, okay, I've seen enough. And then, like, they interview each of you for, like, 2 minutes. And then, you know, they call, and, you know, it's like, okay, tell us about yourself. What do you do? What do you like? What are you going to do if you win? And then you go sit down, and they call up another group of 3, and it starts over. And it's like a 2-hour process, depends on how many people are in the group, but it's really relaxed. It's really fun.
That's cool.
Like, it's not like, if you win the money, what are you going to do? It's like, so if you win the money, what kind of awesome trips are you going to take? That's what we want to know. It's like,
Cool.
It does make you remember, like, you're supposed to have fun. It is a game show, you know, so just breathe, relax, have fun, enjoy. It was a great experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I hope you make it, man. Like, Jeopardy's kind of like, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, like, just everyone in my family watches that.
Yeah.
That hour, so it's great. And, of course, I'll be watching, man, cheering you on if you get that, hopefully.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. Yeah, but then, like, between that, like, I was doing that on Monday during all of this fantasticness. So
wow.
I had to, we hauled ass getting back home. And I got back in time for Ubisoft, which was good.
Yeah.
But,
Ubisoft had a lot of good stuff. I like what they started out with, but...
Yes.
But, yeah, let's... yeah,
so we're gonna, I guess we'll just break them down in order then?
Yeah, I guess let's just start from, you know, Sunday and then go from there.
Sounds good.
First, before, you know, I just been playing Witcher, and I got ESO, so I'll jump into that probably sometime this weekend. I want to get some time, but that's really all I've been playing. Witcher's kind of taking up my time. Yeah, but, yeah, let's get into Bethesda.
Yes.
Oh yeah. A few things right off the bat. We'll just say, you know, we'll do what we got right and wrong at the end of the end of the show.
Yeah.
But Bethesda, you know, let's start out, you know, with the big one, Fallout 4.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they had a lot to show. I liked the customization stuff they showed. The weapons, like how you customize the weapons and the detail they put into it.
That was hardcore.
Yeah, it was like the crafting system they put in it. I mean, I guess I can't fully wrap my head around building your own like fortress. Like it looked like Minecraft in a way. Like it was like here, build this, build that, build this. Um, and I don't know, it just looked crazy.
Yeah, it was. That's. I mean, that's just extreme. Like on top of everything that Fallout already does, and then they throw in these ridiculously detailed, layered mechanics. Like that's ambitious. That's big time ambitious for sure.
And when they showed the trailer and they just kept punching it and punching it and punching, like, and what I mean by that is like they kept showing like these action shots after these action shots, and I'm like, holy shit! It started looking more like a regular first-person shooter. I'm sure they said they had the VATS system and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But and that's kind of the way that I play. I like to take out specific parts, first headshots and stuff. But the way they did some of the when they showed the gameplay, it was like, this looks like BioShock sort of. You know what I mean? Like
I could see that. Yeah.
It looked nuts. Like getting inside of the suit.
That was cool.
Yeah, I liked how they showed that mechanic, and like there's a part where you're in I don't know what they're called, but it's like the helicarrier things.
Okay.
And yeah, like you hopped on that with the dog and then just started shooting at stuff on the ground, and I was just like, holy shit, like this game looks action packed. It looks like it looks like a game you could sit there and just throw 200 hours at easy.
Oh yeah, easy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I saw that they had a release date November 10th, which everything needs to get out of the way for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the big. That's yeah. Everybody move.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be like that's up there with for Game of the Year for sure.
Oh yeah, oh no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, if not Game of the Year, but yeah, we'll see, man. It just looked crazy. Some of the stuff they announced for it, like they showed the trailer montage with the weapons. They showed a lot of the gameplay. They also showed the collector's edition, including a Pip-Boy. What did you think of that?
That was cool, because like I kept thinking, like they're like, we made a real Pip-Boy, and I'm like, bullshit. But then they showed like it's a big smartphone case,
right? Yeah, for your wrist.
Yeah, and then you download the app. And you put your smartphone in the slot, and it looks like an actual Pip-Boy, and I'm like, that's brilliant.
Right, and I'll admit, I ordered it.
Hey man, I don't blame you. Like that thing looks cool.
Right, I never get collector editions ever. I think they're a giant waste of money, and most of them are. But when I saw that and the amount of detail they put into it,
yeah,
I was just like, that is awesome. You can slide your phone right in it with the app that they created, and the app actually connects to the game. So, like, you can control things. My mind blew. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, it's nuts. That was one of the coolest things I saw from that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a gimmick. It was like, here's this thing, and it actually works. And who am I going to show that to? But but I just thought it's such a cool thing to have.
Wear that through airport security, I dare you.
Right, exactly. No, go somewhere. I don't even know where I'd put it. Maybe out in the living room, by the speaker or something. But yeah, no, I thought that was super cool. It was so unique that you don't see things like that ever. It's always like, I mean, it's like most of them are like, here's a cool little statue and a fake plastic ring, and then we'll charge you double for the game. Yeah. But this was like an actual working thing that you can slide your phone in, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I'm with you. Like most collector's editions are like, hey, buy this and get, the big one is of course like bonus DLC or something, and I'm with you. Like it's not worth it, but something like that, yeah. Yeah, that's worth it, because it's not just that it's tangible, but it's unique. It's not another figure. It's not a temporary tattoo or something. It's something specific and unique and really well crafted.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The only other collector edition one I think I have is Uncharted's. I think it was Uncharted 3, where it was like a statue of him, and it looks pretty cool. I think I got Batman's a few years ago. And but it looks like this plastic thing of Batman. It wasn't even that cool. I thought the statue was going to look a lot cooler, but when I was like, that's really tiny. It's not worth it. But yeah, the
Oh.
other Fallout thing they showed was the iOS game Fallout Shelter,
Yes.
which it came out for, they dropped it like that night right after the show,
Yeah.
and I immediately downloaded it. It's for iOS, so it's for your iPod, iPhone, iPad, and Android's coming soon. So that, and it was free, absolutely free.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say it's free to play, right?
Right, it's free to play and it's not free to win. You know what I mean? Like, you're not competing with anyone, so it's not like it's not like one of those battle games or whatever where it's like buy 19 crystals and you get to build more crap. And
Yeah.
you're not fighting anyone else. It's a single player iOS game, and what the most important thing they said about it is you can play this offline, which is super cool. Like, I
Yeah.
like that. Like, you go on a plane, you can play it. You don't have to be online. And so, like, it looked like, I don't know, I can't even explain it. Like, almost like a Sims,
There's a decidedly Sims element to it for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so, like, you're building your, you put people in it, you build your shelter. I don't know. It's a fun free iOS game. It only adds, it doesn't take anything away, so I'm all in for it, and you don't have to sit there and pay to continue in it. You can just, I think it's one of those where it's like you can wait an hour and you get whatever back. So I don't know, I thought that was cool. I downloaded it. I didn't really mess around with it because I've been super busy this week, but sometime this week, and I have a few days off, I'll be probably playing The Witcher and trying that out. They showed Dishonored 2. What'd you think of that?
Hey, look, it's another CG trailer. I hate these things. Like,
Yeah.
I know they're the standard, and I should just kind of shut up and get over it. But I refuse to, because I'm not signing up to buy CG trailers. I want games, so show me gameplay. That aside, I'm all for more Dishonored. Absolutely.
Right.
Like, I loved the first one. I love that they're releasing what are they calling it? The definitive edition for current gen consoles. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I never played it, so that's
Ooh, you
one
should.
that's one that I definitely want to. I love Bethesda. Anything they do, I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So yeah, I definitely want to try it out. And they kind of skipped over the Elder Scrolls card game. I don't even know like what to say about that. It looks like their answer to Hearthstone, pretty much.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, if that excites you, fantastic. But I was disappointed because I really wanted an Elder Scrolls. I in the back of my head, I knew they're not going to bring up Elder Scrolls 6, even though that was one of my guesses. It was kind of one of my wishes.
Well, the thing is, the same part of Bethesda that makes Elder Scrolls makes Fallout.
Right, exactly. And so they didn't announce Fallout 4 until right now, and it's released this year. So I totally get it. I don't imagine hearing about Fallout until the year it's probably ready to come out, maybe the year before. And that's the thing. Bethesda is Elder Scrolls is the kind of series that it's kind of like Half-Life. Valve doesn't have to do any press about Half-Life. All they have to say is Half-Life 3 is released, and it's released right now. Boom. It would sell like crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
The same thing goes for companies like, Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto, that kind of stuff. Like, you don't even need like Bethesda and Fallout. All they needed to do is announce it now and it's out at the end of the year. That's it. You don't need years of, hey, we're working on this, like you said, with a CGI trailer, and then 3 years later you finally get to see some gameplay. They don't have to do that. So you're absolutely right.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right, Kingdom Hearts 3, exactly. So you're right. I don't expect, to really see any Elder Scrolls stuff until it comes out. I thought maybe we'd get a title, but oh well.
Just a tease, like that would have been.
Well, it was a card game, so hey, there you go. That's for people who enjoy that. I played Hearthstone for maybe a day or two, and I was like, it's not for me. I mean, I get why people like it, and it's free if you want it to be. You only, but I don't know anyone that doesn't pay to get the packs or whatever. But
yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, the other big one that Bethesda has, which I thought looked really cool, was Doom.
Doom. Oh my god! Like when they. Everybody remembers Doom. Everybody knows Doom. I don't know if people know, Doom 2 and Doom 3 or any of the other. I think there were like a couple other sort of spin-offs, but everybody knows. Let me rephrase it. Everybody like in our generation and a little older knows what Doom is supposed to be like.
Right.
And the idea of like a next gen Doom, it was both, like an awesome, this sounds awesome, or this could go really badly depending on how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they demoed the gameplay, and it was like, yeah, that's Doom. That's perfect.
Right, yeah.
Like,
and it doesn't, they strayed away from like the last one where like you're close corners, you're kind of running out of ammo, you got the flashlight on you. They stayed away from that. They went back to like more like the original Doom.
Yes.
Where it's like balls to the wall, you're fighting all these Mars demons or whatever.
Yeah, super shotgun and all, man. I love the crowd pop when that first came up. It was like, oh, he's got the shotgun, that's great. And it's like, oh wait, hang on, he's picking this one up. What is it? Oh, it's a super shotgun. The crowd went nuts. They loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it was. There were so many pops during the Bethesda one, and when I saw that with especially with like the multiplayer and stuff like that, I was like, this looks really cool. Like I can get into Doom again. The last one, like I said, it was more like not survivor horror, but you know what I mean. Like it was just different.
Right. Yeah, they did go more for a survival horror kind of feel to it.
Right.
And I just didn't work.
Yeah, and this one's just like, hey, let's have some fun, like just, kind of like Wolfenstein in a way. So that's like the latest Wolfenstein, which same company, right? So yeah, it's I'm excited. But yeah, dude. Well, that's Bethesda. I mean, is there anything else from that I'm missing from Bethesda?
Not that I can think of. What do I have written down here? I think that covers it.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, moving right ahead, we got Microsoft. So, what did you think about this conference?
Microsoft, look, anybody knows me knows I'm not a big Xbox fan in terms of, like I'll buy one and I'll play stuff because they have cool games. I will be a Sony fanboy forever, and I will defend them to the death, and I will give Microsoft a bunch of crap more probably than they deserve. Mm-hmm. This was a decent conference. Like I was impressed, and I'm glad I was impressed.
Good. Yeah, dude, I thought it was really good. I looked at the end of it, I was like, I don't know if I can justify buying an Xbox when I have a PS4, because I mean, each I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they each showed the same amount of exclusives, and they showed the same amount of non-exclusives.
Yeah. And
the same amount of timed. The only difference is Microsoft's was all about games released this year, where Sony's were all games next year. And so that's kind of the only difference. So like this Christmas, Microsoft's going to kill it, and good for them. Good for them. Next year, Sony's going to have a lot of games. So but when I saw the Microsoft conference, I was just like, wow, like this is a really good lineup. I liked a lot of their indie stuff, but we'll get to that. We'll start with the big one, Halo 5. Now, yeah. I'm not that big of a Halo fan, so it didn't do anything for me, but it looked cool. I don't know about you. Did you play the other Halo games?
I did. I'm actually a big Halo fan. I love Halo, okay. And I love and especially like the spin-off material. The books are fantastic. If anybody hasn't checked out, start with Halo: The Fall of Reach, which is what they then based Halo Reach on. Good book, very good book, surprisingly good book. But Halo 5 looked like Halo, and I mean that's really all it needed to do. The icing on the cake, of course, was it had Nathan Fillion. Like I'm in.
Yeah. That surprised me. I had no idea he was in it, and then when I heard him, I was like, oh, Nathan Fillion. And then they showed him, and I was like, oh shit.
And it's like it's him. It's not him voicing somebody. No man, it's him. Like
yeah, it's legit him. Yeah. So maybe he'll be in the movie.
Yeah, Halo is Halo. Like it's never. It'll go to different worlds or whatever. You may get some new enemies, but at its core, Halo is always just going to be Halo, and that's take it or leave it.
Right, and the story to me, it showed it was is Master Chief good or bad?
Yeah, essentially. That's essentially where this is going, which is interesting after everything that happened in 4, to go to go here, like it's going to be kind of interesting because now there's no voice in his ear. So that's going to be interesting. I'm curious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, if I got an Xbox, that'd be one of the first games I buy. That along with the Halo, collection, so I can play through some of the older ones to kind of get the story, because it looks like a science fiction shooter to me, because I've never really played the series, but it's Halo, so I know how important that is to Xbox fans. So they showed a lot of time with that. Some of the other ones.
Yeah.
What?
I just want to say, and multiplayer. Halo multiplayer has consistently been some of the best multiplayer. I mean, aside from any time there have been, catastrophic glitches or crashes or server issues, the actual multiplayer mechanics are really solid. And me, I am not a multiplayer guy. Multiplayer does not capture my attention. When I played, when I finally picked up, it's not coming to me. Which one was
Reach?
it?
OTST or something?
It might have been. I think it was Reach. First off, it was Reach when I finally got back into Halo, when I had my 360, and then I picked up Reach, and I played that multiplayer like crazy. It was so much fun.
Well, I mean, I played Destiny, so like it's the same people who made it. I can see why, if it's anything like that, I can see why people really like the flow of the first person shooter multiplayer.
Yeah, totally.
And they showed off the multiplayer, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the story to me, because I always thought because I have kind of played a few of them, just a few levels, it seemed like a single player experience. Where this one, it seems like there's four or five people you're with.
Well, and that started a little with ODST, and then they expanded that in Reach, where it's like you're not just one, you're part of a squad, more or less.
Right.
And and then, with 4, they kind of backed off of that a little bit, but now they're doing that again. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we'll kind of jump around for a second.
Okay.
They showed the Fallout 4 stuff, along with, which was really cool, is they're going to support mods that people on the PC make. Yeah. Which I have no idea how they're going to do that, but it's Microsoft, so it makes sense that there's that connectivity.
It's a Windows thing.
It's a Windows thing, yeah. And from what I understand, that they're trying to do it for the PlayStation as well, because the chip, in the PlayStation 4, they should be able to communicate. All they said was, we're working on it pretty much for the PlayStation. But for the Xbox, that's going to be something they're going to put in, which is super cool. Imagine moving forward where you have like Grand Theft Auto or like this Elder Scrolls games. Like those are some of the biggest modding communities there is. So yeah, that's totally cool.
Could you imagine this? I mean, first off, think about the GTA 5 sales already. But think about how many, and I don't think I'm exaggerating here, how many millions more they would sell if you could import some of these mods to consoles.
Some people...
It's insanity. It's just insanity.
Yeah, some of my buddies waited, I don't even know how long, it was over a year since it was released, on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Then it was released on the new consoles, and then they waited even longer to get it on PC. But, to them it was well worth it, because they love the modding community. But yeah, I thought that was cool to mention. Let's see here. They showed where is it at? They showed Rare had a new game, Sea of Thieves, which is like a shared world pirate sim. Which looks so strange. I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, it's, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, there's nothing out there like that, and I know a lot of people love the Assassin's Creed pirate stuff, so maybe they'll try and take a little bit off of that. But the other Rare thing I thought was super cool was their collection, 30 games for $30.
Rare Replay, and I'm telling you, that right there may be a system seller to some people.
Yep.
I'm considering it, because that has Blast Core on it. And Blast Core is the most underrated Rare game ever. It was a launch title for the 64. It was just ridiculously awesome. And I'm telling you, I might. I really just, in a moment of genuine insanity one day, I just might.
It's called Blast Corps?
Yeah, Blast Core, Corps, but it's like an engineering core or something. It's silent.
Okay.
Yeah. It was awesome. Like, it was, because it was so kind of weird. The whole thing is like you're part of a demolition team that has to clear a path for this truck carrying nuclear weapons that are on their way to be safely detonated, and apparently it can't steer. So you have to clear its path, and I mean it's levels in harbors, mountains, cities, and the whole point is you have to find ways to knock everything down, and you get different vehicles. There's a bulldozer, a dump truck, a mech, something that shoots missiles. It's ridiculous, and it was so much fun.
Oh wow!
Yeah, if you get a chance to like just go on YouTube and look up some gameplay from it. It's crazy.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I was just looking at it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was rad.
I didn't see a list of, I guess, all the games on it. One of them, did they have GoldenEye on it?
No, because that's a Nintendo thing.
Oh wow, they couldn't get it, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Donkey Kong games. They won't be on it either.
That's right, yeah. Damn, that's such a shame. But, I mean, they still have a lot of Viva Pinata. I mean, the Battletoads, of course, Banjo-Kazooie,
yeah.
Both, yeah. Banjo-Tooie, Banjo-Kazooie, Nolts and Butts, yeah. Conker's Bad Fur Day, there's a lot on here.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, Perfect Dark Zero, this is sick, yeah.
It's
awesome.
a good deal. 30 rare games for $30, that's a good deal.
Absolutely. I love things like that. I got a Sega one a while ago for the 360 or PS3. I forget.
I remember I had that one too.
Because I was like, I want to play some Sonic games. And this was before you could just easily download them off of, their store or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, here it all is. Here's some Sega games.
Yeah, it was a Sega Ultimate Collection, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And it had everything from Alter Beast on down. Like, it was crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, they let's see here. I don't see this in my notes, but I remember they talked about it. What was the game? The guy came out. He was super nervous on the stage. It was the doll that he had.
Oh, Unravel.
Unravel, yes.
With
that
Yarny.
Cool.
That was so neat. Like, I like that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That was, and to hear him pitch it, like, yeah, he was so nervous, but because he was so excited, like, he just kind of powered on through it. And I was like, good for you, man. Damn, good for you.
Oh yeah, you could hear the passion in his voice. He wasn't just nervous because he was on the, he was on the stage in front of a bunch of people, but it was like he was so passionate about it that it was like, of course, I would be just like that. I would be shaking like a leaf, showing the little Yarny thing and explaining like, this is why I made the game, and it just looks great. Like it of course it has the yarn, so to me it kind of first looked like the Yarn Yoshi stuff. But the background, it all kind of looked like real world. So like it had this cool, I don't know, it looked really cool. If you haven't seen the trailer, go watch it. If you're listening, and not right this second, but go look at that. It looked really cool. That's a game that I don't know if they said it was going to come out on the PC, but if I don't have an Xbox, I definitely get that on the PC.
I think so. Yeah, I think Unravel was Xbox and PC.
Right, yeah, a lot of their exclusives, and then I still count them as exclusives, even though they're on the PC. But for consoles, it's if it comes out on PC, then I'm definitely going to be picking that up. It was kind of like Ori and the Blind Forest. I got it for the PC because I was like, that game looks super cool. But yeah,
Unravel's not exclusive. It's also on PS4.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, so I'll be getting that for sure. Let's see here. They had.
Well, and hang on, he was at wasn't he at EA's though?
Well, okay, I'm jumping around then.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, he was at EA's thing.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, geez, how did I miss that? All right, so anyway, we'll go to Dark Souls 3.
Yes, it was announced.
Yep. Yeah, they showed the trailer, which was pure CGI, and I mean, I kind of guessed it was that when I started seeing all the crazy creatures and stuff. I've gotten kind of out of the loop on these games. I don't know what Dark Souls is or Demon Souls and the Blood. They're all coming out. It seems like.
Yeah. I've never really gotten into them. I know a lot of people who were crazy into them, and they were really excited to hear this. So,
right.
Hey, good for them. I hope they enjoy. I hope it's awesome.
Right.
I doubt I'll pick it up.
Yeah, me either. I tried. I did my taste with Bloodborne, which I'll probably revisit someday, but it's fun. It's rewarding, but when it's hard, it's like excruciatingly hard, and I don't know if I like that. It's like I have an hour or two to relax. I don't want to be just being miserable for that 2 hours.
Yeah.
So they announced that, they showed that. They showed some, the Rise of the Tomb Raider. This is where they really showed off, for the first time, the gameplay.
Yeah.
And stuff on it, and it was, it looks like a really good Uncharted game. And no, I'm just kidding. But it looks great. It looks fun. She wasn't shooting at a bunch of people, so I'm glad they kind of went that route. With Tomb Raider, as much as I joke about it being just like Uncharted does have a lot of guns and a lot of guns and a lot of guns. I don't really want Tomb Raider to be like that.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be focused on, because the last one kind of was. It was a lot of, getting your bows and arrows. Like, I want this one to be exploring. I want this to be like Tomb Raider was. And I guess Tomb Raider did have guns. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I want her to be exploring tombs, and it seems like that's what she's doing.
Yeah, it's like that's where this is headed, and this is another one that kind of ticks another box on the whole why I should get an Xbox One thing. 'Cause, man, the reboot was awesome, and I am bummed that this is an exclusive.
Well, it's not exclusive.
Yes,
it's
is.
Timed timed exclusive.
No,
it's just for this year. They announced it.
What?
Yes, when they very carefully said these are all holiday exclusives. They didn't say it was next year. And when I watched the Kind of Funny cast, they said it's exclusive for this year. That's
really? Because Microsoft is publishing it.
They're helping with it, right? They're not the studio that made it.
No, but they're the publisher, is what I mean. It's like how it's it's like if it's like how what's the way I'm looking for this? I can't come up with anything good. But they're publishing it. They're not. Was it Square Enix is developing it? Crystal Dynamics is developing it, but Microsoft's publishing it.
Let's see here.
I think it's an actual exclusive.
Well, the publisher Square Enix, right?
No, developer Square Enix.
Developer Square Enix. Hold on. The quote from them: "We certainly didn't intend to cause any confusion with the announcement. The Microsoft Gamescom, that was Gamescom, stage was a great place to make the initial announcement, but not necessarily go into the details." Yeah, I get it. It's just I don't like how they're tiptoeing around it.
That's the thing. Like there hasn't been like an official, actual, definitive answer on this. But given that it from what I've seen, like Microsoft is the one actually publishing it. So I think it is an actual like exclusive. I would love for this to be a timed exclusive, but I don't know if that's. I think maybe they lured this away to be their answer to Uncharted.
Oh, no doubt, absolutely. That's without question. This is their Uncharted series. It's just a lose situation for fans. Like, I mean. I guess it makes sense, like Uncharted would never be on Xbox. But then again, it's made from a Sony studio. I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'll have to pick it up on the PC if I don't get an Xbox, which is fine. I have a controller.
I don't think it's going to be on PC either.
What?
I think it's just going to be there. It's primarily going to be Xbox One, and then another studio is working on the 360 port.
Wait, 360?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be on PC?
I don't think so.
That is insane. Xbox One, Xbox 360. That is just stupid. All right. Well, there goes my excitement for Tomb Raider. But
now again,
it looked good.
Yeah, but again, don't quote me on any of this because they've been really vague on all of this too.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of going off. Like I said, I hope it's just timed. I'm okay if it's timed. Like, hey, it's timed by 6 months or something. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with timed exclusives. But third-party games should not be completely exclusive. I don't like it.
Not at all. Too much money left on the table. Like, it's not good for anyone.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's.
I like exclusive content, like Destiny did with PlayStation, like that whole thing. Like that's I don't
even like that. I don't like exclusive anything. I think it's silly. I think if you're a Sony studio and you make a game, of course it's going to be exclusive.
Right.
If you're an Xbox studio and you make a game, what's one of their people who make games for them?
The Gears of War people. I can't remember the name of the studio anymore.
Right.
Or Rare. Hell, Rare anymore. They own Rare. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I expect that to be on Microsoft. Epic Games is the people who do Gears of War.
Epic Games, yeah. I was thinking of the other one.
Right. But yeah, so like I get that, but when it's like when it's third party, it's just stupid to me. Even stuff like Destiny. I think it's dumb that my friends on the Xbox One can't play the same content. Like I don't get that. Like why not? I get it. It's money and it's all business.
Yeah.
It's the companies. That's the only, and we just lose. We lose as fans. The companies, of course, that's gonna. When you think of Destiny, you're gonna think of people playing it on the PlayStation 4, and so I get that. It's fine. It's business, so that's what they're gonna do. But anyway, yeah, dude, Rise of the Tomb Raider, it looked fantastic. It looked like so much fun, and that is another reason if it's truly exclusive to buy an Xbox, because this year, like. Man, they got a lot of good games coming out this Christmas. There's a lot of shared games that we're both going to get, but they're getting the exclusives this Christmas, and that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. They showed the Division gameplay footage.
I'm so over this.
Yeah.
Like for the third year in a row now. Like, come on.
Yeah, I hate when it's Ubisoft that makes it, right? So I hate when studios announce something 3 or 4 years out, and we're just waiting and waiting. Bethesda does it right. It's like, here's Fallout 4, get it in November. Like, we know it's done.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Here's Doom, it's coming out early next year.
Exactly. Yeah, give me a year, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to show it at E3, at the same time, I don't want you to release the game until it's finished.
My thing is, if you're going to announce it at E3, if you're just going to announce, that's fine. But come next E3, you better have a release date that's that year. Like, if you're going to announce something, say they had decided, like, hey, and we're going to announce Elder Scrolls 6, just to, throw up a title and a logo. Okay, great.
Right.
Next year, you better have a release date that's before the end of 2016. That's the way I look at it.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. The biggest thing I think that came out of the Microsoft conference was the Xbox One is now backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 games.
And here's the thing. This is the same. They're doing this the same way that they did it with the 360, which is at first they didn't do it, and then they said, well, it's going to be software updates that are going to make it backwards compatible with a certain number of games at a time. And
right, it's emulated games. You put the disc in, it downloads the emulated game to your system, and you're able to play it.
Right.
And that makes sense. I saw like the list they had now, and there wasn't that many good ones, but it's of course just the beta. It's just to show what it can do.
Yeah.
But again, it's only giving, it's not taking anything away, and that's perfect. Their little jab at Sony was like, and we're not going to charge you for this, and it was like, because they know Sony can't do that.
Right, and look, that's funny, and there's a point to that.
There totally is. I don't know.
PlayStation Now is, but here's the difference. This is going to say, hey, if you already have this game, great. Maybe it's one of the ones you'll get to play. Now, it probably will be because I imagine their compatibility library is going to cover most of their games, let's be fair. But what PlayStation Now does is it says, hey, do you want to have a subscription for what was it, like $50 for 3 months or something?
PlayStation Now is $15 a month.
$15 a month, but they were doing like the 3-month special, right? It was like
I'm not sure.
40. I think it was like 40 for 3 months. I don't remember, because it came out to be, it's like they do with PlayStation Plus, where it's like, here's how much it is a month, but if you do 3 or 6 or 12, you get a deal or whatever. But with PlayStation Now, it's like, hey, here's this library that you can stream from. It's different.
I still think the Microsoft thing is the way to go. I mean, the only reason Sony can't do this is their chip. There's really no way to do this. I mean, maybe they'll think of something now. I think the Fire is now going to be under their ass. Like,
No, I disagree. I don't see it.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't think they give a damn about backwards compatibility
No. My point was, I don't think they can to begin with. They actually can't emulate those games on it because of the chip. So I'm agreeing with you. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
But I think they decided that a long time ago.
Right.
Microsoft has been for the last 2 or 3 years, have been backtracking on all the stuff they wanted to do. And now they're like, let's just kind of give them everything they want. And it's good. Like, that is fantastic for Xbox One
I'm
fans.
all right for that, yeah.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, I wish Sony had something like that, because I could just put my PlayStation 3 discs in, download the game, and play them, and it's not going to cost me anything. Get the fuck out of town! Like, I'll go to my GameStop, and I'll just buy a shitload of old 360 games, put them in the console, the ones that work, of course. I guarantee you, GameStop is going to have a little thing to say about that when that comes out.
I'm sure they're going to love it. But here's the thing that people need to remember. Backwards compatibility started with the PlayStation 2, and it was a fluke.
Every system has backwards compatibility right now. And that's except for now the PlayStation 4.
Right.
The only thing we have is the Now, which I don't want to pay $15 a month to stream Uncharted, which is going to skip. When I tried it, it's not fun.
The Super Nintendo did not have backwards compatibility. The Saturn did not have backwards compability. The thing is, it was
you're talking about old systems, gotcha.
Right.
I mean, current systems.
That's my thing. It's like it was a technological fluke that the PlayStation 2 also played PlayStation games. It was not intended, but they weren't like, oh my god, we have to fix this. They were like, hey, bonus. But they didn't expect people to be as rabid about it as they are.
It's a mistake, though, I think, that Sony's systems, they don't communicate with each other. And if Sony has anything, they have history, where Xbox doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, Sony has the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, the PSP, the Vita. And I don't even want to show you the flowchart of how you can play certain games on certain systems in certain countries. It is insane. Like, on my Vita, I can play PSP games, PS2 games. I can't play them on my PS4, which is a powerhouse, but I can play it on my PSP or my Vita. Just the flowchart is insane. And that's one thing that moving forward that Sony's has to realize, that, the next one, the PS4, the PS5 or whatever, it's got to communicate with the games with the PS3, because, in 2015, all these systems talk to each other. If I go out and get a new iPad, I can go download a game that I could play on my old iPad. If I get the Xbox One, I can now play some of the games I could play on my 360. My Wii U, I can play Wii games. It has to move with that. And it's unfortunate they can't do anything about it now. It's just like, here's Now. I don't know, it sucks.
No, I agree. No, and it's a good point. Like, I would love to see like a solid, like a consistent message about this coming from Sony, one way or the other. Pick one. Whether the message is going to be, okay, we hear you. You bought these games on PS3. You should be able to import them to PS4 or to your Vita or to whatever. I think that would be the way to go, really. But if they wanted to come out the other way and say, look, this generation is this generation. Right. If you want to play your PS3 games, you should keep your PS3. Then that needs to, whichever message they're going to pick, they need to make it solid. And I get the crossplay, with PS4 and Vita to try and keep them current gen. But,
Right.
you know, and I think that's another part of what left over, because Vita was kind of an in-between. So, of course, it could communicate with the PS3 because it came out at the same time it needed to, just like
Right.
it does with the PS4. And it's, you know...
It's weird. The only place I can play Crash Bandicoot right now is on my Vita. The only place I can play Tomb Raider is on my Vita. It's like, it's weird, and it's a dead system. So, like, years from now, where are you going to be able to play these games if not for the systems that the company creates? It's like, same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo pussyfooted for the longest time. You know, like, oh, we're going to release 5 games, and then we're going to release 5 more, and oh, here, now you can play Super Mario Brothers, and, you know, instead of, I get it not dropping it all at once, but at least they did it. With Sony, you can't do that, and I think that sucks. Like, I just really think that sucks.
Fair enough.
And there's a lot of, and that's the thing. Here's the thing. There are way more PlayStation 4s out there than there are Xbox Ones. So you have a lot of, and most of them are transplants from 360 generation. So there's a lot of people that I know that own a PlayStation 4, never owned a PlayStation 3. I can't tell you how many of my friends have never played Uncharted. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And their method now is to like go, well, we're going to bundle it together, and it's going to cost you $40.
And here's the thing with that, though. We're kind of getting a little mixed here, because now we're talking about people who didn't have these games, who never got a chance to play them. And I agree. There is an argument to be made for just, no, you should be able to go buy, you know, old PS3 games and play, you know, or have a digital option better than what's out there. Because if you don't have a high-speed wired internet connection, PlayStation Now does not really work all that well.
What you're doing is you're kind of forcing the hands of piracy at that point. If you're not giving someone the ability to purchase it from you, then it's kind of like, I know it's not as easy as the movie industry where you could just go, okay, here's a Blu-ray of it, but it's like, give people the ability to buy those old school games and not find the other way to do it. You know what I mean? If they're willing to give you a few bucks, do it. But I guess that gets into the PlayStation Now, so that's fine.
But again, you know, that relies on having decent internet, which is not consistent. You know, just ask anybody who has any cable service provider ever. You know?
Exactly. So it's not going to be good on first-person shooters or anything like that. That's not. You're going to want to play those kind of games that are like maybe JRPGs or something.
I'll give you a great example. When I had PlayStation Now, Saints Row 2 lagged and jumped like crazy. I could not finish the little tutorial mission at the beginning. Critter Crunch worked beautifully. Like
oh wow,
that's the thing. Like you know, I know it's a service based on a service, and I understand that, and it's a great service. And don't get me wrong, if you've got a wired internet connection for your PS4, go for it. But you know, I'm across the house, and I have to do it wirelessly, so it's not really a viable option for me or for a lot of people, really. But if it's something you can do, then go for it, because it's a great service. I think they need to rethink this whole thing.
Yeah, totally. It was kind of it was their, and usually Microsoft doesn't take jabs, and it was just one of their jabs, like, and you don't have to pay for it. Like, that was just complete jab. And
and it was because Sony beat the hell out of them 2 years ago. You know. Yep.
Oh yeah, totally.
So it was their kind of way of saying, we're off the canvas, we can fight back. And I think that I liked what they've done so far this year, and we're going to talk more about it because we're not done yet. But like, they took this year to say, here are games. We're here at E3, we're going to talk about games. For God's sake, somebody at Microsoft finally listened. And they focused on games, and especially exclusives. God, everything. If I had a nickel for every time that thing said Xbox One exclusive, like I could finance this podcast. It was, but I liked seeing it because I like competition. Because I really think in the game industry, capitalism works with this, and we're going to talk more about that later.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we only win when they, like I said, you know, at the they all had the same amount of exclusives, they had the same amount of time exclusives, and they had the same amount of cross games or whatever. And, they even kind of had the same amount of downtime, I thought, that was lull in their conferences. So overall, I think they're pretty matched up. I did see that Mega Man's creator has an exclusive game. Now, I'm going to mispronounce his name. If
Kenji
you want to try.
Inafune. I'll do it for you.
There you go. Yeah, he had an Xbox One exclusive called Recore.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
That was an interesting CG trailer.
I'll be honest, I missed this. I must have ran into the bathroom or something.
I tell you, go back and watch it. Like it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and I look forward to seeing more of it.
Yeah, it looks like a dog robot.
Yeah, but it's not really about that. It's about the core in him.
Okay.
It's about that little. It's the whole idea of I guess I'm trying to pull a microchip analogy more or less. Like the cores are the OS, and you can see like they're transferable, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like it could be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no doubt. Let's see here. They had the Forza 6 gameplay.
Yeah. Hey, what do you know? It looked like Forza. Like,
yeah.
Look,
this is one you were excited about, right?
I like Forza. Because Forza is a solid. I wish Gran Turismo was half as good as Forza is.
Yeah.
That's another thing of like I would, if I could really be talked into it, I would get. If I got an Xbox One, Forza would be near the top of my list. They're consistently really good racing games.
And don't they have like a 2-tier system? Like they have the Forza 6 and then they have a Forza something else.
Horizon is the other. Horizon's more open world-ish. It's a little more arcadey kind of. Okay. But also really good. Like their game. Yeah, both franchises are really good.
Cool. Yeah, see, I'm not that big into racing. But yeah, it looked cool. Definitely looked cool. Let's see here. They showed DayZ creators' new game Ion. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did I miss this one?
Probably.
Why am I? Oh, what? The human body or something?
It was. God, you see, that's the thing. I don't even remember this one because I kind of spaced. Because they were like, from the creator of DayZ, and I'm like, yeah, didn't that like really not turn out all that well?
Yeah, survival horror games are just not my thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm Ion. Is he like in a space? I'll have to rewatch that.
I don't remember. Like the only thing I remember about that is the end where it's like it shows like a person who's been like vacuum sealed or something. Like I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember anything else about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I remember it. It was like space or something, and then it zoomed out and it was like a vacuum sealed person. So. But that was a thing. And, okay, so we're getting close with Microsoft. They talked about Valve on the VR headset.
Yeah, I was so close.
You were close.
Yeah.
You were close.
Like, we're going to talk VR. I'm like, yes, point for me. With Valve. Damn it.
Yeah, it was strange.
That was weird. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, neither company spent a lot of time. And we'll get to Sony's. Like, I was so disappointed on how little they talked, but I don't know. I don't know how you can explain VR on a conference stage instead of just saying, look, just come look at it. You know, come when you guys are here, stop by our booth and check it out. That's really the only way.
Well, Microsoft found a way, not necessarily with their VR, but to...
Oh, we'll get into that right now. The HoloLens, that makes sense. They could show you that they could actually show you the augmented reality stuff. And it to me it's the same kind. It's not obviously the same tech behind like the 3DS type stuff, but in a way it kind of is. Just puts it on your face.
Right.
So, and it's totally cool. I mean, you know the way he was interacting with Minecraft, which was basically virtual Legos, which one of the coolest things I thought was that she was actually in the same game.
Yeah,
that he was kind of looking.
That whole demo was really awesome. I've got to hand it to Microsoft. That was cool.
Yeah,
that whole thing was
that
very
blew my
cool.
mind.
But it goes to where do they go from here? Like that's really cool with Minecraft, can you do something like that with Gears of War?
Well, no, I'm not even thinking games, because I don't think they're just thinking games either.
Okay.
That is going to be super cool in the classroom. Like, let's dissect this animal right now. And we're going to take it layer by layer, and we're going to show you we're going to show you the skin, the bones, the insides. We can show you what happens when it swallows. We can show you what happens when we inject this blood into the bloodstream. Let's zoom in and we follow the blood set. Like that kind of stuff.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah,
This is going to be used for educational purposes, I think. And that's why I think a lot of these companies, especially like Facebook, when they picked up Oculus Rift, that was one of the things they said was education stuff. And when I saw this HoloLens stuff, that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, they could like legit teach so many things with it that you couldn't in a normal classroom. But all you need is these headsets, have the kids stand around and like show stuff.
Think about how you could do astronomy with something like this.
Oh God, the possibilities are endless, and that's why I think HoloLens, to me, has a better chance than Oculus, has a better chance than Morpheus, or any of these other things at taking off, because it has more I don't even know the right word.
No, you're right.
Is that a real word?
Yeah.
In the real world, that it can be used as such an education tool, or a museum could buy 6 of them, and you could pay, $90 for that special tour, and walk around and see things come to life in front of you.
Yeah. No,
and that's
totally.
all you need is, and walk around a dinosaur or something like that, and it's augmented reality, so you're still seeing everything else around you, but you're seeing this other thing in the space that's there. And I liked how it showed the Minecraft table, and then it disappeared, and it went into like a cavern. And you look down, and the table wasn't there, but you just looked down. I was like, there's so many things you could do, but yeah, video game wise, I mean, it's the HoloLens is good for Minecraft and stuff. It's not good for none of this stuff is good for hardcore games. I'm using my quotation fingers
here. True. Yeah. No, true. Very true.
Yeah, that's all going to be straight up. It's going to be. I don't think any of that is ever going to die with like the way you play Call of Duty and the way you play Skyrim and stuff like that. I'm sure one day the RPGs will be big for like. The headset kind of VR, like Project Morpheus or what Valve's and stuff's working on. But this kind of stuff I see more towards like educational stuff. But yeah.
Or indie. Think about like you could do a ton of different indie games like this.
Just God the game, and you basically have a little city.
Essentially, well, it'd be it would be you could do a Sims game like that. God, that's perfect. This would be fantastic for a Sims game. Holy crap.
It would be amazing, yeah. Like I'm sure these companies are thinking about that. Sim City, bring that back like that. It would be insane.
That would, yeah.
but yeah, man. So that was cool. And what they closed the show off, which was Gears of War, which we kind of saw coming. And I thought it looked cool. I never really was into the series. But yeah, what did you think?
No, I'm the same way. I've never been a Gears fan. But like I saw it and I was like, "Hey, that's Gears of War." Like I mean, this is another one that's like if this is your series, this didn't change any minds, but if this is your series, you got excited for this. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And Gears is important to Xbox. It was one of their on the 360. To me, it was a system seller. It was one of the best first games that they had, because I remember I got it. The only reason I never finished it was because, like an idiot, I had my 360 standing up and it knocked over.
Of course it did, man. Yeah, any console, never stand a console up. I don't care what they're supposed to look like.
That was the first and last time I did it.
Yeah.
And so after that, the disc had a circle around it, and I could never play it again, and that was the last time I played Gears of War. And the other two I heard weren't that. I heard the first one's kind of like, wow, that was great. The rest were kind of like, oh, okay, that's more the same. So, I mean, I liked the demo that they showed. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what they closed it off with, and it was pretty good. I thought Microsoft had a solid conference. They had the mind-blowing part with the HoloLens. They had of course, the Tomb Raider in there. And then the big thing I thought was the backwards compatibility. To me, that's kind of a game changer, and I thought it was good. And they focused on games, like a lot of their indie stuff. Oh, I didn't even mention it. The Cupheads.
Cuphead, yes, Cuphead.
Yeah,
man, like who would have thought, like now you could play something that has the same animation style as old cartoons. And it was a brilliant idea.
Oh, it was a love letter to Walt Disney. Like,
totally.
Yeah, and man, that to me, I don't know if that will be on PC, but that game looks like a ton of fun.
Yeah,
Like,
big time.
To me, it looks like a game I'd like to play on my Vita, which of course it would never come out for it because Microsoft's backing it. I think, but
yeah, it's part of their was it ID program, whatever they call it, the independent developer program. Was it ID at Microsoft or something?
And see, so wasn't Meat Boy? Wasn't Meat Boy a part of that too?
I don't think so. Super Meat Boy? I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think
I know Super Meat Boy just came to PlayStation and it's free.
Yeah. No. What Splosion Man was?
Okay.
That was one. That and Comic Jumper and Miss Splosion Man. They were exclusive, which was kind of a bummer because those were hysterical. Comic Jumper was hysterical.
Awesome, yeah. No, I mean, I see that when I think indie for console, I think PlayStation. So I'm glad to see Microsoft getting some really good indie games because those are some of the ones you can pick up and they're not going to take you hours to beat. You know, there's something good about that. I like jumping in those games and then turning it off when I'm done with it, like Hotline Miami and stuff like that. Like you play a few levels and then you can just put it away for a minute. So yeah, man, that game looked. When I saw that, I was like, this looks trippy as hell, and I want to play it.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
What?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they had a bunch of other indie titles. They all looked cool. That one wasn't the one that stood out, though. So, if there's anything else you want to say about Microsoft?
Nah, I think I'm pretty sure that more than covers my notes.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Well, we have like 5 more conferences to go.
Yeah, right.
So we've only done 2. EA. What did you think of them?
EA came out and did what EA does, which is like, hey, here's like 2 or 3 really cool games, and now sports. Like that was EA.
I thought the sports was really weak.
Well, it always is. Let's be fair, it always is. And look, they're not marketed to us. They have their dedicated fan bases. The Madden people are going to buy Madden. The NBA people are going to buy NBA. The FIFA people are going to buy FIFA. These things are going to sell.
I'm wondering how close they're going to stay to FIFA after all the stuff that's happened to FIFA.
Well, I mean, it hasn't. Look, the games are still selling like crazy, and it's not.
Right.
It's not about the organization. That's about the people. Like you can replace the people and rebuild the organization.
Totally.
They'll continue to do what they do. I don't think this has any effect on them at all.
Right. Yeah. No. I think maybe down the road they might. I don't know. That just because I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But yeah. So it's the sports stuff. I mean, well, what did they say for the NFL game for Madden? They had like new kind of ways to catch it. Like there's like different, like you can set the catcher, I don't know, like different kind of catches you can do and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
like the receiver has new moves or so. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, here's something that's almost the same thing as last year, and they've been doing that for a while now.
Right. Here's some fun, cool little features we added to it, and so yeah. And then they had the Dunk God, I think his name was.
I don't remember.
But she lives local here too, so it's kind of funny.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I know. Just say I know some people that know him, and they were like, "Oh God, I know him." So yeah, they showed his face on the stage. I thought that was really cool, like the way they did his face, and then it was in the game. Now I'm sure there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff to make sure it looked really well.
Well, I mean, but I mean the thing is, like that's a feature for NBA Live now, and hey, cool, whatever. If you're buying NBA Live, you're somebody who's that into it. Like if you're buying a sports game, you're going to be into something like that. So that's just icing on the cake for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me 2 seconds here.
And but yeah, while he's gone doing his thing, but because NHL did something. NHL did something kind of similar where they had a different. They had like a newer kind of like intuitive tutorial kind of mechanic when it came to like shooting, and they did a similar thing with FIFA where it was like, oh, hey, you're going to have like some options come up to kind of like say, hey, you should kind of do this, and they're going to highlight like, oh, now the sprint is highlighted, so that means you should run past this guy, and now the pass is highlighted, so you should pass, and stuff like that, like little tweaks to help if this is like if you're not good, or if this is like your first time around, like, and say, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because these games get hyper competitive real fast.
Oh yeah. A lot of my friends who like the NHL game, they hated the last one.
Really?
Oh yeah, they did not like the last one. I think it was missing a lot of features that the one before it had, or something. I'm not sure. See, I'm not into the game, so I don't really want to say anything because I don't really know. I just remember my buddy was like, they should really get on stage and apologize for the last one. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because I guess they were just missing like a lot of stuff. But yeah, so hey, but yeah. So we get all the sports stuff out of the way. They had a lot of sports stuff because it's EA. They need to realize they don't have to do that. Like, spend more time on Star Wars, which I thought it was weird that like halfway during the presentation they were like, we're getting to Star Wars. We'll get there soon, and then they continued on with the presentation.
Yeah, like they kept being it just kept feeling like an ad for it. Like, don't worry, we're gonna get there. It's like, guys, we're not going anywhere. We know you're gonna talk about it eventually. You don't have to come out and tell us that you're gonna talk about it eventually. We know.
Exactly. You didn't have to say it at the beginning of the thing. It was like, okay, we're gonna watch this anyway. It was just like Nintendo. They teased the Mario Maker the whole time. And I'm like, we get it. We're gonna see it soon. Wait, did Mario just change into? No, so I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's what they did. And I was just like, oh my god. But yeah, so So we got the sports stuff out of the way. Mass Effect. They opened up with the trailer, which I thought that was a strong opening. I thought it was smart to open up with that.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Oh yeah, you don't really like the CGI trailers, do you?
No, and I'm not a big Mass Effect fan. I mean, I know people that are, they're hardcore into this. They want BioWare like crazy. Okay, go for it. But it was like, hey, here's a CGI trailer that just said this is a second series. Like, it's what they say, it's Mass Effect in a different galaxy. Okay, cool, whatever.
And it has to be. I mean, you never played this series, right?
No, but I'm familiar enough with it.
Okay.
Like,
I
know
this is the galaxy next to ours, right?
Or
Andromeda?
I think closest to ours.
Closest to us,
yeah, more or less.
So I mean, it's cool. I'm interested in it. I played enough of the Mass Effect series to kind of get it, and hey, that's one of EA's like big titles.
Yeah.
And so of course I thought that was cool. They opened up with that. They showed the Need for Speed, which should have just been called Need for Speed Fast and Furious.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Underground was kind of like that to begin with.
Yeah.
And then
I thought it looked cool.
Dude, I can't wait. Like, I am super excited for this, because they talked about how basically this is kind of like a Need for Speed it's like they took the greatest hits from all of the other Need for Speed games and they made a game out of that. And I am totally on board for that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited. It looked cool. It sounds cool. I'm anxious to see how they manage to screw it up spectacularly, because they probably will, because they have with the last ones. The last couple have been, well, look, the last Rivals was fine. It was whatever. But Need for Speed, I'm still sore over the last one that was just called Need for Speed, because they came out on that stage at E3 a couple what would have been like 3-4 years ago, and they said this is going to be half Need for Speed, half Burnout, and I couldn't have been happier. And then when I played it, it was kind of Need for Speed and no Burnout.
Oh wow,
and
that sucks.
I felt burned, so I was like, no.
Let's talk about one burning section of that conference is when they walked out and said, "Let's talk about mobile."
Yeah.
That's when I went pee, because I was like, I do not want to hear it. They talked about a Star Wars one, which, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of grabbed my attention for a little bit, but it was just stupid nonsense. And then they decided to focus on the Minions one, because that's their audience, right?
Yeah, totally.
Come on. And I get it if you don't have much to show for the Star Wars stuff, but do not bring a mobile application to a big conference about Minions. The Fallout stuff, made sense. Like it made total sense. They didn't spend a lot of time on it either. They kind of showed you it. They said all the things you want to hear. It's free. It's not like free to play, free to win. You don't have to be online, and it's this extra thing you can have. And that's it. The minion stuff, like, they spend a whole bunch of time explaining they're on an island, tropical. Just no one wants to hear that. Like, hello?
Yeah. No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Sorry, I thought I left you for a second.
That's okay.
It's like the people there are excited to see. These are hardcore gamers, and of course they're in the news and stuff that are sitting in that room. They're in the business. They're in the industry. That is not what they want to see at all. Keep that shit to the show floor. Have your little booth with the Minions app. Keep it there. Do not show it, on a stage in front of millions of people worldwide.
You know who else is watching these things though? Shareholders.
Yeah, and what do shareholders care about that?
They look at this and they see, oh wait, that's right. There's a big Minions movie coming out in a couple months. We have a big Minions app. That's good. Like that's business.
I guess, but that makes me not want to buy that app. That makes me stay away from that app. I don't know. It's I don't know.
I know.
And here's the thing: apps are going to sell. You don't need, Candy Crush didn't need a conference about it. You know what I mean? Like those kind of apps don't need any of that. If someone's going to be searching for a Minions app, they're probably into Minions.
Yeah, but here's the thing again: business. Like they're making it. It's based on something popular that's going to come out. It's That's where business overrules the fanboyism.
That's true. But to get on a positive note, yes. I did like the EA published indie title Unravel that we talked about before.
Yes, yeah. that was really cool. And he came out, he sold that game. Had they just shown the game, I would have thought, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll play it. But he came out and he sold the hell out of that game. He went after it, man. And I want to see that out of everybody who's a game developer that gets on that stage. I want to see that kind of excitement. And to be fair, usually we do see plenty of excitement. But every once in a while you get a couple that'll come out and they'll say, hey, this is a thing that we're kind of working on, and then it's just sort of, that. This guy got up, and I can't remember his name, and that's too bad. Because he got up and he sold the hell out of this game, and that made me excited for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's that was amazing. I think his name is, I don't even pronounce it, Swedish. Shalin? I don't know. But yeah, it was Yarny, and it just Jesus, it looks like, it reminds me of kind of like the Little Big Planet.
Yeah, a lot of people looked at that and they said kind of the same thing. It was like, hey, it's a Little Big Planet spinoff.
Right, yeah, it doesn't look necessarily as weird as the Little Big Planet kind of game is.
Yeah.
But it looked, it kind of reminded me of that and like the Yoshi's Yarn. It was just cute, it was adorable, and it was just like, okay, like when I saw games like that and I saw games like, Cupheads and stuff, it was like, this is so unique and different. It's like things you've seen before, but just not in that way. It looked just the way like the yarn looked like it was in like a real like world behind it. So I don't know. I'm in, and we all know. I mean, we all know the thing's gonna die. It's gonna unravel at the end, and I'm going to lose it. So that is the sad ending to Unravel. But yeah, I didn't mean to spoil that for anybody.
Unless you meet somebody who knits.
Right, exactly.
You meet your soulmate, and it's someone who knits, and they put you back together. Like I don't know. Like that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, totally. They showed Mirror's Edge.
Yes,
Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Yes, more Mirror's Edge, more Mirror's Edge.
Which isn't a sequel. They said it was a reimagining of it. It takes a lot of stuff from the first one, and
it's let's be fair. It is a sequel. They can say what they want, but it is a sequel. It's just not a direct sequel.
Right. They said it was open world, no loading screens, which is super cool.
I want to see how they pull that off.
It'd probably be like Bloodborne or Witcher, which is open world, no loading screens, except for when you die.
Yeah, you have loading screens in Witcher.
Well, yeah, you have loading screens, but You know what I mean? Like, you can run into a building, and you can run into a town, and you can open a door. Not like Skyrim, where you open a door and it has a loading, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you die and Mirror's Edge is going to have to load the world back in. So that's what I mean like that.
Yeah.
That's the only time I see it happening. Same thing with, like, Bloodborne. But yeah, so, I don't know, it looked cool. Like I said, never really played the first one.
You really should, man. Get it on PC.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it's super cheap too. And then they closed it out. They showed some Star Wars, the Old Republic stuff. So if you play that MMO, there's free stuff for subscribers coming out.
There's a new expansion coming. Hooray!
Yeah, and you know, I love Star Wars. So like whenever I see stuff like that, I'm like, I want to play that again. Then I start playing it. I'm like, yeah. I see why I didn't.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was cool and the developer said was that they are going, because their biggest request is like, I don't know if you ever played the Old Republic, but
yes.
The biggest request, or the biggest thing that game had going for it MMO-wise, was it had a good story, which is, you know, BioWare is known for.
Exactly.
And the MMO had a good story. Like, you can play the every class has his own unique story to it, and it's really cool. And then once you hit the end game, there's no more story. All the expansions were just like, here's a new, you know, dungeon and stuff like that.
Right.
The expansion is going to focus on doing all new stories for all the classes. So that's cool. Like, there's a story going for it. So to anyone who's into that, that was kind of neat. I just wish they would just do another Old Republic, like not Old Republic. I want a Star Wars RPG, and that was kind of the thing that I was hoping EA would announce, and they never did. Was an official new Star Wars game that is an RPG. That's what we're here for. That's what I want to see. But they did show Battlefront.
Yes, they finally showed actual gameplay from Battlefront, and I was sold.
Yeah, I mean that. Maybe it's because I'm just a huge Star Wars fan, but I took that away as the game I want to play the most out of all the games I saw. There's some other ones that come close, and we'll get to them.
Yeah.
But that was the one where I was like, I get to play that this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll tell you where I was impressed, and it wasn't just the scope. It wasn't seeing how much of everything was on the field at one time. It wasn't the orbital strikes, wasn't the walkers, it wasn't even the very end. There's a moment where you're in a TIE fighter chasing an X-Wing through this little ice canyon. Mm-hmm. And the canyon's about 3 feet wider than either ship.
Yeah.
And flying through that with that kind of precision, I looked at that and I went, that was awesome. I want to do that. That was what sold me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, everything else was awesome, but like that was the one where I went, okay, I'm in. I'm good.
It looks so cinematic, and I'm sure it was all very much orchestrated to look that way, but it just, like, you're throwing these grenade bomb things that, like, they look like they imploded and brought the stormtroopers in with them.
Yeah.
And just, like, seeing how beautiful it looked and all of this chaos, it looks so clean and so sharp. And they were playing it on a PlayStation, you know, because they had the X and the square and the whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I guess for me it was the scope. Just seeing all the chaos happening.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is amazing, and that's all we're getting from it. Like, it's not going to have a story mode or anything like that, but I'm okay. This is kind of the big, you know, first-person shooter game that I think I will be playing for a while, because it just looks like so much fun. All the different vehicles and the AT-ATs, you know, hopping in the snow speeder and taking down the AT-AT immediately brought me back to just doing that on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, yeah.
With Shadows of the Empire and stuff like that. So, like, oh man, it just looked cool. But yeah, dude, that was a good thing to close out the show. A little disappointed we didn't get any information about the new Star Wars game, but I guess none of it's ready yet.
Next year.
Next year, yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. But yeah, so that was EA. Moving on, because we still got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Ubisoft. I liked how they opened their show.
I did too. I had to go back because I missed the actual trailer, so I had to go back and I was like, okay, this is a thing. I'm in. I'm so in.
Yes, and this was one of my extra things, remember, in the list? Yeah, I was like, man, I really hope they do a sequel to that South Park game. And I love how they even addressed it.
Yeah.
What's her name? I keep forgetting her name.
Aisha Tyler. Yeah, she
Tyler.
asked Matt and Trey, she was like, you guys said you hate making video games and you're never going to do one. And they were like, yeah. But by the time we got done with it, we realized we do like it because now we know how to do it. So
they got good at it at the end, they said.
So they were like, so we figured we'll do another one. I'm like, yes, excellent. I love Stick of Truth. I want to go back and play it again.
Yeah, me too. And now that, who knows? Maybe they'll add that on as some like bonus to it or whatever. But yeah, because it's not on the new consoles. So, but yeah, man, like when I saw it, when I heard Cartman and stuff, I was like, yes,
yeah, so
much yes. And like you said, how they addressed it, they're just funny. Like they need to get them more out on stage because Matt and Trey, that's their environment. They are comfortable in front of those people. They'll just say whatever they want. They're like, these microphones just suck and it's weird.
Yeah.
And you said Aisha Taylor. Am I saying that wrong?
Aisha Tyler. Yeah.
Tyler. Yeah, I'm such an idiot, but I love her. She needs to continue just doing more. She shouldn't even just do Ubisoft. They need to hire her to do the whole damn thing.
And another thing is they need better writers too.
Yeah.
There were a couple segments where that's the thing. She goes out and she's going to be 100% enthusiastic about everything because she genuinely loves games, and she's going to be 100% invested in every segment she's a part of, even when they're terrible.
Yeah.
Because I do want to take a second before we jump, and as kind of a lead into what we're going to talk about next, they really wanted to make memes a thing.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. But that's my point. Like, she went at it hard. She was like, I'm going to do the hell out of this bit. And I give her full props for it, because it wasn't her fault that it was an atrocious bit.
Right. Like, there was now, I missed part of the Ubisoft, so you're going to have to kind of take the steer with this one. What was that game that was a meme? It was like a cat riding a unicorn.
Oh,
do you remember?
That was Trials Fusion. It's an expansion for Trials Fusion. It's the Awesome Level Max expansion.
Yeah, it looked cool, but when I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, wait, this is a meme. Yeah. Oh my god, they made a game out of a meme.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, they, let's see here. They, the big one, they showed the Syndicate Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, hey, another CG trailer, which blows because the first thing they showed was like, hey, our announcement trailer is CG, but click here and here's like 8 minutes of actual gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did they not show more gameplay? Why? Right. Oh, because it's Ubisoft, that's right.
Yeah. A lot of their stuff was just... Yeah, I wasn't honestly. South Park was kind of the big one for me, and they opened up with it.
Yeah.
One game that I thought was super cool, it's just intriguing, I guess. I want to see more of this. Was the For Honor?
Yeah, that was one I liked seeing them actually play that.
Right, the guy came out and then he was like, and we're going to have our warriors, and it shows like 4 on each side. And I don't know if it's a Dota or what it is, but it looks cool.
It's very, and he was another guy who came out and he was like, I'm a personality, damn it. He's like, I'm excited for this, and you will be too. And I was like, you bet I am. You got it. Like he sold the hell out of that one too.
He really did.
And it's interesting because it's kind of like a Bushido Blade style Dota.
Yeah, it looks like a dueling, and I'm totally into that. I mean, like I said, one of my favorite games of all time was the Star Wars Jedi Outcast, and it all has to do with the sword play of it, and like getting certain moves down and stuff like that. And if it's anything like that, which it looked very much like it, I'm in. I'm totally in. And yeah, dude, it looked cool.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see here. Yeah,
we saw more of The Division. Hooray!
Yeah, we keep seeing that, and it's. Yeah. They showed. Let's see here.
We did see more for Siege, staying on the same sort of tack.
Yep, Rainbow Six.
Yeah, that was neat. I've never been a Rainbow Six fan. Those games have always kind of looked cool, but I've never actually enjoyed playing them. But
Was it? Oh, okay. No, go ahead.
But yeah, but that looked cool. I'm sure that'll sell really well.
Yeah, no, it looked cool. One I didn't see, but my friend thought it looked pretty cool, was Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yes, I want a new Ghost Recon.
And it's like open world, right?
Yeah, I thought, like, as I'm watching this, I'm like, I kept thinking, like, is this another like Call of Juarez game? Like what? Because it's very, you're in a very like South Central Latin America inspired kind of place, and I kept thinking, I was like, oh, they made a sequel to the Cartel. This actually looks like it might redeem it, but like it's another Ghost Recon game, and I'll tell you, man, that looked badass.
Yeah, that's one I need to check out, because my buddy told me it looked really cool.
Well, and the thing is, they showed the same mission played 3 different ways.
Oh, wow.
Not just in the style of like, oh, you can go in and blow everybody up, or you can go in stealthy. No, it's like you would choose. Okay, we're going to do this stealthy. Well, of course, then we're going to do it at night and this and this. Well, we're going to do this, ambush. Well, okay, then we're going to attack from every angle at once and use the drones, and then we're going to take the truck, and we're going to leave the guy. And then the other one, I don't remember if it was Assault or Mayhem or whatever it was called, and that was kind of the more traditional, just sort of, run in and shoot everybody. But, like, it was interesting to see, like, they were very... It was an active choice. It wasn't whichever way you picked set up a different kind of scenario to do it. That I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was actually working during Ubisoft's. That was the one conference that I couldn't really see, and I only saw glimpses of it. Like, I saw the South Park stuff, the For Honor, and there was just a lot that I missed, and I gotta check that out because it sounds fun. It looks fun. I'm looking at the pictures right now. And I think that's actually it from Ubisoft, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that covers Ubisoft.
All right, we're moving on to the last 3. We got Sony, Nintendo, and Square Enix. Yeah, let's go with... You want to? Okay, we'll start with Sony.
Let's start how they started. They came out of the gate hard. Like they went at it, and they were like, "What are they talking about? They can't be." And I'm sitting there, and I was kind of live blogging on Facebook, and I remember I was like, "No, this really isn't. They're not. It's not. It doesn't exist. No, this is a myth." No,
yeah.
The Last Guardian lives. Yep. I was blown away. I was like, "Oh my god, here we go again."
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Shu's been saying in every interview I've seen him in. I watch a lot of the kind of funny people with like Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller. They're like the ex-IGN people, but they're like the funny people. So I followed them to their new thing, and this is something Colin says every year. He's like, "It's coming," because here's the thing: they actually went to Japan. They went to Japan. Like, they've seen it. They've seen how the meat's made. You know what I mean? They've gone to the offices. They see that there's teams still working on it. So every year he's like, "It's coming," and then it doesn't. He's like, "Come on, you guys, come on! Like, I know you're working on it. Yeah, you're working on it."
There were teams working on Duke Nukem Forever for 12 years too. Let's be fair.
That's true. And there was a lot of like behind the scenes just nonsense. The creator, I forget his name, slips my mind here, but like there was a lot of beef with him and Sony for a while, and that's why some of the people were actually taken off the team and hired back on as contractors.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot, and I want to see the behind the scenes story of this game. I know that won't ever be made, but that stuff is intriguing. So
look, I would love to see like a documentary series on different vaporware. I would love to see one about or things that are vaporware-ish, like this, like Duke Nukem Forever, and I'm sure there are a dozen others that I can't think of off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. That or like Never mind. It's gone. Never mind. No, it's gone. But yeah, like some of these would make tremendously interesting stories.
Right.
Like,
And
Silent Hills. Silent Hills was the other one. Like that would be a fascinating story. Like just do a thing of like all of those. You know, that would be really neat.
Yeah, show them falling on the sword and killing their own company. I thought it was great that I think it was the director that was out on in the audience, and they showed him, and they're like, Shu was like, here he is, and that they needed that, and that was cool. I thought that they're like, hey, there's no more beef, we're all making this game, and it's coming out, and I thought it was going to be for this year for sure.
I'm okay with next year. I'm all right with that.
I am, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, but now
it makes sense.
Yeah, but like now we know because they've done this. They've done this before. It's like Prey 2. It's like how many times can you re-announce something?
Exactly.
Like, but I think now it's like this is that we're making this. We're coming out here and we're saying we're giving you this game. If you notice that the theme of our show is going to be giving you what you want. Trust us.
Right, exactly. And my buddy was like, "Well, it looks like a PS3 game," and I'm like, "It was a PS3 game."
Yeah.
But I don't need every game to be like. My eyes don't need to bleed because of the graphics. Like,
no.
If that was the case, I would be a miserable gamer.
Totally.
Some of my favorite games are 8-bit. It all depends on the gameplay, and so that Team Ico, that's what they're known for. So and it's funny. The same people will sit there and tell me how good the Wii U is, and I'm like, what? Look, you're telling me you don't like that? Looks like a PS3 game, but you're. So anyway, but yeah, dude, I think that was cool. I was shocked they opened the show with it too.
Yeah.
Like, you think they'd hold that off to the end, but they're like, nope. The whole Sony show felt like fan fiction from the start to the end, except for a little part in the middle.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh, you wanted this? Oh, what's behind door number 1?
Yeah.
Here you go. It was like, oh my! All they needed was Crash Bandicoot to walk out on stage. We actually skipped over the moment that I thought was completely ridiculous. I'll talk about it for 2 seconds.
I was hoping we were gonna. That's why I didn't say anything.
The EA is you talking about where the guy came out in the costume?
Yeah, the Garden Warfare thing. And
God, I was like, what is this going on? These are grown men, and we're talking about video games, but at the same time, like, holy crap! Why is this guy out here?
Well, it came after like.
There's another moment.
Just Dance 2016, where Jason Derulo came out. That's the one you're talking about. The next one.
Oh wow! No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't see? Oh god,
no, I didn't see that. Things like that, I kind of zone out, or I'm looking at my phone. But there's another one later on I'll talk about. That
okay.
I was like, what is going on? This one I'm going to talk about. This here looks like it could be a system seller. This game is probably my favorite new franchise that I saw.
Okay.
And it was Guerrilla Games' new game called Horizon Zero Dawn.
This took a sharp left turn.
Yeah,
but it was awesome. It was like, here's primitive people and they hunt with bow and arrow. Okay, cool. What do they hunt? Robot dinosaurs. What?
Right. Yeah, it was insane. It looked almost like it was like a tribal thing, like almost like Native American, or like it kind of reminded me of that chick. Yeah, caveman. It reminded me of what that chick was in Game of Thrones, that lived the wildling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the redhead. That's what it reminded me of in a way, and it was very like. I thought it was cool. It was like this world, and she was talking about like there was this world before us, and something happened, and it all went to hell, and we live here now, and we live off the land, and we respect the land, and I was like, oh, hey, there's a thought, and then like you said, it just took a quick turn, and I was like, are there dinosaurs? There's robot dinosaurs? I lost it. I was like, I'm in. This is a day one seller for me. I loved that they showed. It wasn't just CGI trailer. They went into it. Showed you kind of the gameplay.
That was again show gameplay. You're selling video games. Show gameplay. Like that was magnificent.
Oh
but
yeah.
It was like that was really cool looking. Yeah. And I thought, I can do that. I can totally do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we knew Guerrilla was working on something for a while now. I knew it wasn't going to be Killzone. They've kind of beat that into the ground, I think. And Killzone's not that bad of a game, but I never got excited
But
for
it wasn't that great either. Like it
Exactly.
wasn't. They thought that the last Killzone was going to be a system seller, and I don't think it was.
Nope. Yeah, no, not at all. No, it wasn't. It was one of the. It was released with the launch, right? It was a launch title.
It was a launch title, yeah.
Yeah, and now I think it was free at some point. I just actually got a Killzone on my Vita for free, and it's cool, little Vita shooter. But I don't like playing shooters on my Vitas. But that's a different story. So I don't know. I thought it was that for new franchise. That took it to me. Like that to me, if I had an Xbox One, that would be the game where I'm like, oh, that looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, moving forward, they showed a new Hitman trailer.
Yes.
Hitman. Yeah, and it looked cool. I mean, it looked like, I don't know, like a political thriller, and I was like, what is this? And then they reveal at the end it's Hitman. And we got more details later when we talked, when Square Enix showed it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I don't know. It looked cool, I guess. Like, apparently there's different ways to kill.
Well, it's like it's completely what did they call it? Player. I forget what they said, but it's basically like player discretion. It's
right,
not.
Like
it's,
you walk up and stab them.
Yeah,
or
you could do
them.
that. You could poison them. You know, you could. I liked. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but like the trailer they showed at Square Enix, where like he blew up the roof of the fashion runway and it collapsed on the guy. It was like, well, that's extreme.
Yeah, and from what I understand, other people like me, you, whoever, can create scenarios.
Yeah.
And it generates it. It can generate it in your game or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, like and share it too.
And share it, that's it, yeah. And so that's totally unique. And that, I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that like the Hitman series. I've never really gotten into them, but that sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they let's see here, and the No Man's Sky stuff.
Let this game come out already. This is another one. As much as I love this idea and everything, they've been talking about this for a long time now, with not even the hint of a release date or window or anything. Like it just,
right.
I love looking at this. I love seeing the fact. I loved hearing the fact that he said, "Look, we've created a pretty much incalculable number of worlds, knowing some of these are never going to be explored. We're okay with that."
Yeah.
Like that to me, that takes balls.
Right, and it's not just because I was trying to explain to my friend. He was like, "Oh, so it's just randomly generated, and when you leave it, it just doesn't exist." And I'm like, "No, actually, like that's a place that someone could actually go to someday. Once you find the fish and all the planets and stuff on it, that exists. So someone could possibly go to it. You wouldn't know." And and I showed him the demo, and like it shows the one star, and it shows you like you're in that galaxy and has a bunch of planets around it. Zooms out. And he's like, here's all the surrounding stars. He's like, try to get you to understand how big this game is. I'm going to pull out, and every dot you see is a solar system with surrounding planets, all different creatures. And he pulls out, and it's just like, my mind broke.
Yeah.
And I was just, the programming, because I don't know that much about programming. I've taken one or two little courses by myself to just kind of see what programming's like, and I have no clue how they do that. But it was intriguing, and to me, when that game comes out, that's going to be huge. I'm with you. I want to see how the game actually plays.
Yeah.
I want to see, like, what do I do when I get to this planet? What am I supposed to do? I understand in the game, it has, like, scientist stuff. It has a bit of a action, like shooting and stuff. Like, 'cause when he gets to that planet, he's like, there's these things here trying to protect the planet from you mining it, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff, but they don't show it.
Yeah.
And so from what I hear from a lot of rumors is that it's going to be next year.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, me too, because it's been a year. It was announced last year. So this is the first E3 it's come back to. I'm with you. If it's going to be next year at E3, it better be for next year. You know what I mean? Like, it better be like, oh, here we're showing you it, and it's out in November. and I'll be okay. I'll be fine with that, because once that game comes out, holy shit. How's that even going to work on a PlayStation 4? Like, how much do I need to download? Like, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, like I don't
Like,
even.
I have no idea how that's going to work, but I'm with you, man. I want to see the gameplay. I want to know more besides, because it feels like this Minecraft idea in a sense, where it's like there's not really a story, you're kind of creating your story, but tell me.
Well, but he
gameplay.
did kind of drop that little hint of like when he pulled everything like all the way back, and he's like, that bright light there is the center of the universe, and that's where we're all trying to get to. And I'm like, okay, why? Why are we all just, not like in a accusatory sense, but just explain it to me. Why are we trying to get to the center of the universe?
Exactly. And I liked how he was like, he did explain, like, here is the galaxy we're in, and we're trying to get to the next one. And, am I going to have enough to get to one that's really far out? Enough, inner power or whatever.
Right.
And so that tells me that, there's a system in place where you probably have to gather resources and everything else to jump systems. And so you can't just jump from one side of the, solar system, or I'm sorry, the whatever you want to call it, the universe, to the other. That there has to be, there's limitations to that. So, like, you could eventually get over there if you get enough save. Yeah, it's almost like this EVE Online kind of situation. It seems like
there is a hint of that there, sure.
A hint of that, yeah. But man, did that blow my brain. Okay, so moving on, they did show Destiny. The Taken King announced with trailer for this year in September. And if you play Destiny, it looks like fun. It looks like new maps. It's actually like a physical copy you can buy. I don't know anyone that would do that, though. If you already have I would not want to be putting in discs and whatever. But it looks like, they didn't really say much. They didn't go into detail. They didn't spend that long on it. They just kind of showed the trailer and stuff. But it definitely looked like new maps, new world, and it looks like you're facing Diablo almost.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, no, Destiny's huge. It has millions and millions of people playing it. And they of course announced that there's some special stuff for Sony first. So
yeah,
there you go. But you don't play Destiny, right?
No, not anymore.
Okay. All right. They showed in this one.
Let me. Please.
Okay, you do it.
Please, I have to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was one of those jumping up and down when they showed it. It was a tech demo. It was, hey, here's the kind of thing the PS3 could do. 10 years ago, Square Enix said, hey, look at this. We remade the intro cinematic for Final Fantasy VII. Isn't that cute? We have never let them go. We've said, you will give us a remake. You are going to remake this game. We have pounded this drum for a decade. Finally, Square Enix came out and said, you know what? Fine. We're making it. And I cried. I did. I am not ashamed of that at all. I was so ridiculously excited to hear this. It was awesome news.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I remember playing that game years ago when it came out, and it's been a while. Like, it's been a long time. But it was a system-selling game for PlayStation, and it's a timed exclusive, so good news for Xbox people. And
yeah,
it's
And again, it totally makes sense that this should be on everything. I know some people are going to be kind of militant about that. It should only be on PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. I like that it's a timed exclusive. This I support. This I can get behind. Like, I am glad it's coming to PlayStation first, because look, Final Fantasy VII was my first RPG. And I remember, like, just getting through when everything you go through just to get out of Midgard at the beginning. Like, it seems, you look back on it now, and it seems like nothing. Anybody that knew RPGs at the time, they were like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. Being, what was I, 7? And playing as much as I did, and finally getting out of there and realizing, oh no, this is literally just the beginning, that blew my tiny mind.
Yeah.
And I was in, and I loved that game, and I loved that story, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I know it has flaws. I don't give a damn. I love those characters. I love that story. And to see them stepping up and saying, you know what? You want a high-def, brand-new, remade version? Here you go. Like, that's... I can... Once I have finished playing that completely, top to bottom, inside and out, then, you know what? If I have to get hit by a bus after that, I'll be okay. I'll be alright, because I got to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It was cool to see the audience.
They went
react.
Because here's the thing, like, it started like it was going to be a sequel. The way that trailer wound through up until almost the end, it was like, oh, this is going to be like a sequel or something, and I would have been okay with that too. If you're going to give me like a Final Fantasy 7-2, like they've done with everything else, I'd have been all right with that. Like a follow-up to Advent Children, I'd have been okay with that. And then they threw the logo up, and you could hear like they went ahead and cut the room mics back on, and everybody was starting to go nuts.
My god!
And then when they slapped remake up there, they blew the roof off that place.
Yeah.
They went. I have never heard a reaction like that.
No.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Sony had 3 big ones like that. First Guardian was pretty big when they did that. The Final Fantasy VII kind of took the cake, but there was another one too, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, dude, like when I went back and watched some of the reaction videos online of people watching this.
Oh, I want to see some of those.
And they started just losing it. Saw a girl crying, and it was because like that is the game.
Yes,
that was the system seller. That was the game that single-handedly got Americans, into JRPGs.
Yeah, and I know some people will argue that it was Chrono Trigger, and they're not entirely wrong. Let's be fair, Chrono Trigger laid the groundwork, but and Super Mario RPG certainly didn't hurt.
Right.
But nothing like Final Fantasy VII when Square decided, back then Squaresoft decided they're going to push. They can't do any more with the limitations of what they're working with Nintendo.
I remember getting it with 7 discs.
3 discs.
Oh, was it 3?
3 discs.
Why did I think it was 7? Yeah, you're right.
Because you're thinking of Myst.
it was the big one. It was the big PlayStation.
Yes.
Where it was like on each side. You're right. It wasn't 7. Yeah. What am I thinking? Yeah.
but they were like, all right, but we want to go big. We want to go really big, and we want to go impressive, and we can't do that. We can't do that with Nintendo, and we're not really crazy about the Saturn, so we'll do this on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. And I remember just looking at it, and the box art was so beautifully simple. It's some of the most elegant, minimalist box art. Mm-hmm. It's just that white background with like a faded in sketch of that reactor and Cloud standing there. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I looked at that, and I looked at the back, and I was like, well, this kind of looks cool. And then the more I played it, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it put PlayStation on the map.
Big time.
Just as much as, GoldenEye was for Nintendo 64,
Agreed.
This was the game you told your friends to get a PlayStation for. This and, like, Metal Gear Solid and stuff.
Yeah.
It's that big. And to me, it's the game that at least, around my group of friends that play JRPGs, this was the game that really just set the bar for so long. Like, for so long. Everyone kind of compares it to that, especially any Final Fantasy that comes out there. That's the one that they go to. I know there's a lot of other good ones, and everyone kind of has their favorite, but that's the one that, like, I really remember my friends who were super into JRPGs. They were like, that's the one, and they were the first ones to share it, when I posted it. And I was just like, yeah, that's, that's awesome. And,
So to see that that's being made, I'm hoping next year, maybe 2017, but it is being made. It is
Right.
coming out, and I love that it'll be out in time, because it was 95, wasn't it? No, that's not right.
97.
97, 20 years.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 2017 release, because they'll want it to drop on the 20th anniversary. It'll be a 2017 release.
Right, and I think they there's not an in-house studio doing it. I'm trying to think what studio is doing this. I think they said it. I forget who did it, who's doing it, but it's out of house because they don't have time to do it.
Yeah, well, they're working on
Right.
no, it's Square. It's Square Enix. It's one of their main teams.
It's made here. Let's see here. Maybe I heard them wrong then.
It's Tetsuya
Oh, you're
Nomura
right. Square Enix.
and his
Okay.
guys. Yeah, it's all
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah, because I thought I heard that it was they handed it off to someone else, but no, okay, good. so yeah, that's going to be something else. That will. I wonder how much timed it is. I think time's horrible, but I wonder how much timed it is.
I would say probably like 3 months.
Probably, yeah. Probably for Christmas next year. I'm thinking.
Yeah, but yeah,
What do you think they'll do? Do you think it will be like a remake, as in it's going to be just like the older one, just updated graphics?
Oh no, dude, it's going to be ground up. It's going to be rebuilt from the ground up, totally.
But I mean, do you think it's going to be in the same style? Because the Final Fantasy games they make nowadays are nothing like.
Oh, you're talking turn-based or real-time?
Turn-based. Yeah.
You see, I don't know. I hope they keep it turn-based.
Yeah, that's what
I
was
hope it
thinking,
stays true to that, and I think they understand that. I think if they try to update it that way, they're gonna get there will be hell to pay.
Yeah, I think it's got to be turn-based. I mean, I just played Persona 4 recently, and it was so much fun to go back and play a game like that.
Yeah.
You don't get that these days. There's so much of the other stuff that it's like, okay, keep that for the new Final Fantasy. That's fine. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it should be turn-based. The graphics should just be an update, and don't break what doesn't need to be fixed. Just make it look good. And this is also going to be for a lot of people that just they weren't gamers back then. This is the game that their older brother or sister told them about, or that uncle or someone in their family that was like, oh, that's the game that I played when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be able to go, okay, this is what they're talking about, and wow, holy crap, they might be able to experience it. Kind of like they did. So
yeah, leave the actual mechanics alone.
Yeah.
The materia system, all of it. Just leave turn-based, the whole bit, limit breaks, all of it. Leave the actual gameplay alone.
Oh yeah. And the next big one there's a reaction video online that I'll send to you.
Yeah, which they did like right after the.
It was just a 1-2 punch. It was Sony going, I told you, man, it's fan fiction for Sony fans. Like, they literally were like, what do I want next that's been promised for years? I mean, this one goes back, I don't even know how long. I never really was a fan
14 years. Well, the first one came out in 99, and then the sequel in 01. Shenmue, yes.
Shenmue 3, yeah. Yeah, dude, I remember hearing that the last one leaves off with a to be continued.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the reason they never made a third one is because the first two were so expensive.
Right, they were kind of first of their time, where like there was a night and a day cycle, and you had to like have a job and stuff. Like, I was reading up on it, and I was like, wow, they were way ahead of their day with a lot of what they were doing, and it totally makes sense why people bought those games. And I thought it was kind of funny that they were like, hey, we're Sony, worth billions. Please help kickstart this game for this creator.
And they're talking about a Kickstarter, and we're like, what are they doing talking about Kickstarter? Why is this a thing? But this is what I was talking about earlier. It's capitalism at work. This is where you let the free market say, hey, look, we don't really want to take a chance on this game for whatever inane reason, but are people willing to jump in? And
this is the present day pre-order.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at.
Yeah,
this is the new age pre-order. This is a way for Sony to go, because what they're doing, I read a little bit up on it. they're backing the game as well, and they're backing it for millions. They basically were like, we'll throw, they didn't say an amount, but I imagine probably around like 20 million or something. If you can if we can see that there's interest in this and you can get $2 million, then we'll help you make it. And that's what happened. They got their goal, 2 million under 24 hours.
They got it in 9 hours.
Right, and they're almost at 3 right now.
They're like 2.8. By the
30 days to go.
Yeah, this is Mighty Number 9 all over again, where it was like, hey, I have this idea for a game, and people really like this kind of thing. This, not just this creator, but this concept. Not maybe this exact game per se, because Mighty Number 9 is like, it's basically just a reskinned Mega Man, but people wanted that. And so when he went to Kickstarter and it broke records, everybody took notice.
Right, and I think the creator is super important to it as well. Like, it's just, that's cool. Like, that's hope for people who have those old games that they were like, I loved that series, and no one's went back to it, and I would love to go back to it. And now they have opportunities to do that. And I was reading that the Sony went to him last year. And they were like, we've been getting a lot of requests for a third one. What would you think of doing it? And would you mind if we, did a Kickstarter or whatever? And so they did. Like, it was all, to me, it's just, hey, let's see what people think. And they jumped. Like, you see a guy in the conference standing up with his hands on his head.
I loved him. I want to see him do reactions for everything. He was just out of it. And because how many of us sitting here wherever we were watching this felt exactly the same way.
Yep.
Just this whole thing of like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is Christmas. This is Christmas and my birthday and Hanukkah all rolled into one.
Oh yeah. And there's a guy on Game Trailers, and I'll send it to you. But I've never seen someone lose their mind as much, because like they know the cameras are on them, their mics are on, but they're not on for people watching, and they're talking. They're like, wow, man, what are they going to do next? Like that. Oh, my God. I just lose it. It loses his mind.
I totally believe it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But I was just like, wow, like Sony's just do. Like, you wanted this? Here you go. You wanted this? Here you go. But yeah, so that's cool. So, oh, man, we're not even halfway done with Sony. They showed Star Wars Battlefront, and I thought it was super smart that they showed a completely different planet.
Yeah, they showed the single player side of it.
Right, and they what do you mean the single player side?
The missions mode.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
That's their single player. I mean, you can do it as co-op as well, but that's the mode that's going to be single player.
Okay, that's cool, yeah, because I know a lot of people that don't want to play multiplayer, and that's perfect for them. And I liked what was it? Oh, there was a part of that I really liked. We'll come back to it. Oh, yeah, at the end. That's the level that's in the game, the planet that is in the new movie.
Oh, Jakku?
Yes, and the reason why I'm saying that is because at the end of the trailer, or gameplay, whatever, you'll see the Star Destroyer crashing into the planet, and it's the same Star Destroyer in the new trailer for the movie.
Interesting.
Yep, and that's what I heard a while ago, is that when they introduced the planet, they were like, we have this planet, and this planet, and it's the new one from the new movie, and you see that trailer where the Star Destroyer's in the planet. Guess what? You get to do a bunch of missions in the new game that shows you exactly how that Star Destroyer crashed well before the new movie starts.
Well, ain't that a kick in the pants?
Yes, exactly. And so you see it crowd, and I'm like, oh, this is that planet, and it doesn't look like Tatooine because it's a little different. It looks more like the Southwest than it does, Tatooine, which is cool. And so that's I kind of got off the bat. I was like, that's not Tatooine when they're playing. And then when I saw it at the end, I was like, oh, yep, that new planet, awesome. And they showed Boba Fett flying around, but it was cool. And it wasn't this when they were doing the Disney Infinity, was it? Wasn't the PlayStation one, was it?
Yeah, it was, because the PlayStation is where there is the PlayStation bundle is the only one where you can buy the Boba Fett figure.
Really?
Yeah, it'll work. I
thought that was timed exclusive as well.
It'll work with the other ones. It's compatible with every other system. It's a Skylanders figure. What are you going to do? Or a Disney Infinity figure. But you can only buy it with the PlayStation pack.
That is what? That doesn't even make sense because I thought the PlayStation pack was the it was Anakin and it was Soko or whatever.
Ahsoka, yeah, but the big that's what the starter pack is just in general. But the difference is that with the PlayStation pack, you also get both what do they call them, level packs or whatever it is. You get both story pieces. The one for the prequels and the one for the original trilogy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it looks like this is going to be Disney's answer to how can we get Star Wars to kids for games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
And it's cool. It looks fun for kids, you know. I mean, to me, it kind of almost looks like the Lego games in a way. But it's the Disney Infinity. This is the third version. They have the Marvel and stuff, so it'd be cool. Don't think it's my cup of tea, but I just those figures. I gotta stay away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go anywhere near that. But I saw something funny on the. I was watching the Kind of Funny crew, and they were interviewing Cisco, you know, from the Thong Song.
Yeah.
And that was his game of the show.
Okay.
Disney Infinity. And I thought that's appropriate. Okay, awesome. And but yeah. So anyway, moving on. They showed Assassin's Creed Syndicate. They showed some exclusive content. You get to play the girl in it, right?
Well, that's not exclusive.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm wrong. But it showed Evie.
They did say that the PS4 will have exclusive content.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, she's not an exclusive character.
Okay, yeah, but that was the first time I saw her doing her thing, though. So, but I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. Hopefully, it's not as broken as the last one they released. But I don't know. It looks like it's more Assassin's Creed. They spent some time, which I'm surprised, but I guess.
This is where I was wrong. Are we talking about the next thing down here on the list?
Yeah.
This not only I called it for the wrong conference.
Right.
I was amazed at this because for forever Microsoft has been the go-to place for all perks and early admissions and whatnot for Call of Duty.
Yeah, but no, it makes perfect sense now that you think about it.
Now it's PlayStation.
Yeah, the system PlayStation outsells it 2-1, and it's that Activision. I'm telling you, the same with Destiny. There's probably behind the scenes stuff with Sony and Activision right now where they're just shaking hands, and you can tell. I mean, especially with this, to me that was pretty big, especially for first person shooters. This actually looks like a lot of fun. The Black Ops stuff, Black Ops 3, it's very futuristic. You can't really beat Call of Duty's shooting, I guess that's what you would call it. The gameplay for shooting, it sets the bar, I think. You know, to me, it even beats Destiny. Like just the mechanics of the game. Yeah,
the mechanics are pretty solid. I hate not being able to argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, first-person shooters are not my thing. I know they're not your thing either. But when I picked that up, I'm like, okay, this is fun. I don't stay with it. It doesn't hold my attention, but it feels good. And the stuff they were showing was just batshit crazy. And running up walls, and like using the Force on people, or you could make people puke. So it was just batshit crazy, but it looked like a ton of fun. I could totally see first-person shooter people loving this game. My guess for next year is we're going to see Call of Duty something World War II again. Because I think we've kind of gone to the future for a few years now. I think it's time to rein it back. And I think it's time for World War II type games. Because for a while, that's all we got. And then since Call of Duty...
Modern Warfare,
we haven't seen any, except for maybe Medal of Honor every once in a while.
But even Medal of Honor went to Afghanistan.
True. Yeah, so I think it's time to bring it back to. I would love a really updated, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC huge World War II game, World at War or something like that. That would be cool. That would be cool. But hey, I mean, it was huge, and like you said, it was. I was kind of surprised too. But then when I thought about it, I was like, no, it makes sense. They're going towards PlayStation now because their deal with Destiny, and just that's where people are at. Activision's going to go to when they see Sony's outselling Microsoft 2-1. We'll see later in the year. I think Microsoft's going to destroy Sony later in the year.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the holiday battle this year for sure.
Absolutely. The thing is Sony already has a base now, so we'll see. But yeah, definitely this year they're going to have way more exclusives. And speaking of exclusives,
yes,
they showed Street Fighter V. And the beta starts next month, which is kind of cool.
Hooray!
And I'm not a fighting game person, but I do know this is the fighting game of fighting games. This is the one that people, if you're into fighting games, this is the game you play. This is the one you'll see at every Evo. This is, to me, my favorite's Mortal Kombat because just how arcadey and ridiculous it is.
Right.
But Street Fighters is more about the mechanics and
this is the standard.
Right, exactly. So that's cool. And but yeah, they showed a lot of that. They showed some, it was Cammy and someone else, I don't know, but beta starts next month. So I thought that was cool. And then Sony kind of closed they closed it off with Uncharted.
Well, they tried.
They tried. Well, it crashed. And that's when I thought Crash Bandicoot was going to run on stage and just be like, "Hey, I got it."
Yeah.
But
no, I think because I think Activision still owns the rights. I think they still own Crash.
They do, yeah. And it's not, it's not Naughty Dog's fault. They just have bad luck. And what it did show, though, it showed that this was a live demo.
I like when that happens. Because I can see that.
And and that's exactly what it was. They had to restart the demo so the guy, behind the scenes can play it. And it showed that it's live and that anything like that can happen. And I liked that. And I always give Naughty Dog the benefit of the doubt because when they put something, and seal it and send it to the people to ship, it's gold. It's solid gold. It has been for years. So, man, yeah, I thought it looked amazing. It looked more open than most Uncharted games.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, you're going down the hill, like in the demo. You're getting to that point, but it was like you could take any street, and he literally took any street. He went right, left.
Hang on, I disagree with that because I think if you decided to follow the tank past where you're supposed to turn off, you would have died almost immediately.
Well, no, I mean when he was going downhill, like there was other roads he could have went down. It just looked way more open. Maybe it was just orchestrated really well.
I think that's what it was.
Okay.
It was still cool, don't get me wrong, but I think
normally it's more linear than that. But yeah, we'll see. It looked great. Like it looked like an action movie game.
Yeah. And
that's the kind of the closest thing I could put to it, and it just looked like a ton of fun. I actually don't even want to see any more of the game. No, Uncharted is like a movie. Like I've seen enough of it. I don't want to see any more.
Yeah.
Because I want to experience it when it comes out.
They won't really have. It comes out first quarter next year. It'll be like a March release. They're saying.
Right.
So like it'll be out before they have. I doubt you're going to see you'll see some more like for the multiplayer for sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be a trailer during every, sports game or something like that when it gets closer, because that is the system seller. That is Sony's, that's Sony's Halo. So it's great. Oh man, I can't get enough of Uncharted. I thought it was strange that they didn't really announce the collection.
Well, because they already did.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just surprised. Because here's the thing. There is a huge hole in the Christmas time, around holiday season, for Sony. There's not, just like Microsoft last year, they had the Halo collection. This year, we're getting the Uncharted collection. They at least spent time talking about the Halo collection with Microsoft. They spent no time talking about that here. But there's just nothing for this Christmas except for, exclusive, And so I thought they'd say something about that, but they just really showed it in a montage. And I'm leaving out a few other things that there was the Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, the world of Final Fantasy, like that.
The world of Final Fantasy.
Whatever. Like,
yeah, I thought it was cool. It's coming out on Vita. Like, I was like, oh, to me, it looked like the little pop figures, the little, the little pop figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little eyes and stuff. You could tell Cloud was in there. Like, it had Final Fantasy characters and stuff. So that was one I forgot to mention, but we'll get to that as well later. But yeah, that pretty much summed it up for Sony. They left it off with Uncharted, and yeah, if there's anything else, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on. I mean, they did mention more or less that, like, Project Morpheus is still alive, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they didn't really, I mean, and they showed one game where you're in a shark cage.
They spent 2 minutes and 60 seconds talking about Project Morpheus.
Well, that would be 3 minutes then.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? But then, I mean, you can't really talk.
Yeah, it's like what you said earlier, man, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be the next move. And I really don't, because when you think about Project Morpheus, when they first announced it, they even said, we don't know if this is going to be a thing. This is just an idea. And then it turned into like, it's an actual thing. We've made it. And we're testing it out. And now they're saying it's going to be released. But it's like, if it's going to be released, because like I said, rumors is going to kind of be next year, this is the place where you show the games. And they showed one game. And they showed two games. Yeah, the Shark was one of them, which I was like, nope. And then there was another one. It was like a multiplayer shooting game.
Yeah.
And it just looks like, I thought, which would blow everyone away, is if at the end of the conference they said, every game we've shown you today can be played on Morpheus next year. That would have blown everyone away.
Yeah, like that would have won technology for the next 3 years. Forget E3. Like,
right, yeah, that would have been like, oh shit, Sony just dropped the mic.
Yeah,
and they did that a bunch during, don't get me wrong, with Final Fantasy and all these games they did. That would have been
like they picked up the mic and just flung it.
Exactly. If they were like, the Star Wars, all of this can be played on Morpheus next year, or whenever. That would be insane, but they didn't. And to me, it really worried me when they didn't announce a price. They spent 2 minutes and 60 seconds talking about it, and then they just moved right on. And I was like, wait, go back, wait. You didn't talk about it at all. It was just this, it's here and go play it at the store, and that's it. They showed a bunch of a montage of sharks and stuff, and that was it. But yeah. So all right. Anyway, moving on. We had Nintendo. And what did you think of the Nintendo conference?
I want more Puppet Iwata. That was cute.
I couldn't disagree more. I thought
really? I loved it.
I guess it was different. I just don't. I think Nintendo is so far gone at this point. I wouldn't care about the puppet stuff if they announce something I'm excited for that I don't already know about. And I guess we'll get into that. I don't want to be too negative on them. The puppet stuff was cool. That was probably the best thing about their whole conference. It totally caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. But yeah, so they started off with Star Fox. What did you think of it?
I can't wait. I love Star Fox. And it did exactly what it should have. The big screen is going to be like your more cinematic kind of view.
I don't want that.
You don't like that?
Not at all. No.
Yeah.
To me it's too gimmicky. I don't want to play Star Fox and then let me hold up my controller and zoom in. No. Can I just play with the controller? Does that make sense? And
I'm sure that will actually be an option. I really think it will be.
I guess my beef, and this is it's my problem. It's just strictly me, and I understand that. I had different expectations, and I think that's what ruined it for me, because I was like, this looks like a straight port from the Nintendo 64. There was a lot of stuff they showed later on with it that I was like, oh, that looks really cool, like when they had the boss battles and stuff.
Yeah, and the fact that that all the other vehicles can all the vehicles can transform and everything, and like.
Right, but this looked like a GameCube game. It looked like that could have been released on the GameCube, and it would have fit that. And you know what I mean? Like, I guess it just didn't have the polish I was expecting. When I saw Mario Kart for the Wii U, oh my god, it looks beautiful. This looked a little bit too much old, if that makes sense. I get it. They're trying to make it look like Star Fox, but I guess I thought it had an updated feel. You know what I mean? And to me, it looked like a straight-up sequel that they could have released on the GameCube.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm being negative about it, and I know I shouldn't be, but it was total underwhelming. This was the game that I thought would have got me into it, but I was like, oh, wait, like, it's like straight-up polygon still, the way the ships are, and the way everything is, and it's like, oh, they're still going, okay, so we're going underneath, these arches, okay? This is exactly the same thing that I played in Nintendo 64. I guess it just took me out of it a little bit. It looked like Star Fox 64, the remake. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it looked like to me. I guess I was just expecting bigger, grander, and a little bit different updated paint job, where it was not realistic, but a little bit more like, the other stuff we were seeing from all the other consoles, but it wasn't. It was straight up like a sequel to Star Fox 64 with a little bit upgraded graphics, which, I don't know. See, like I said, I go back to my expectations were completely different.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, I don't want to take your excitement away. It just, to me, the conference went downhill from there. They showed the Nintendo's collaboration with Activision Skylanders.
Yeah, they have a Donkey Kong figure and a Bowser figure now that come with vehicles.
Right, yeah, they were like vehicles or something, I'm not sure. But
yeah. Well, because Skylanders is doing, was it Skylanders Supercharger or something? Supercharged, I forget what. But like it's now they're introducing vehicles.
Okay.
And so they're like, hey, we made amiibos that you can also use in Skylanders. Like, okay,
yeah, it was strange because they're competitors, but then I guess it's smart for Skylanders because they're like, hey, and it's smart for Nintendo because Nintendo's like, hey, if people are going to play Skylanders, we might as well get them to play on the Nintendo, and we might as well make it so the characters can interact with each other.
Yeah.
So your kid will buy Skylanders for Nintendo instead of the other systems. Or so they can be like, Dad, I want to get that because I can play with Mario or whatever. So that was cool. This one was just... You said there was going to be a Zelda, but...
This is not what I was expecting.
No, not at all. It looked disappointing. Who wants to play co-op 3DS anything?
I did not want another Four Swords game, but with 3. I didn't want that.
Not at all. I thought they were pretty smart when they explained why not 4. They're like, it'd be too tall of a tower.
Yeah.
But I was just like, that's not what I want. Like, give people what they want. They like the RPG Zelda. Speaking of Zelda on 3DS, they also spoke about what's the game?
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. Hyrule Warriors.
Here's
Legends.
the thing. Hyrule Warriors on Wii U was fun. It was really good. It was great. I got it from GameFly. It was enjoyable. I loved it. I would not pay $60 for it.
Right.
Give me that for $40 on a 3DS. I'm sold. I can pitch that. No problem. I think it's worth that. Absolutely.
It's supposed to come with all the DLC too, so that's pretty cool.
Well, it comes with a couple extra characters. Like, there was no DLC. These are exclusive.
Oh, wow. See, I thought they were DLC. That's cool.
They can be transferred if you also have the Wii U version.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like look, I would consider this. Like, I had a bunch of fun with Hyrule Warriors on Wii U, but again, I wouldn't pay $60 for it. But I'll do $40 for a 3DS version. Totally.
Right. the next one is Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Hooray.
Yeah.
I'm not an Animal Crossing guy. I never have been. If that's your thing, more power to you. You get 2 new games. Because you get Happy Home Designer and you get, what was it, Amiibo Party or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I don't even understand, because I have Animal Crossing. I thought for sure that all that stuff you could do in Animal Crossing, except for the what did they have? They had, like, I don't know, it looked like Mario Party, but with Animal Crossing characters.
Yeah, and no mini games.
Yeah, without mini games. What is Nintendo thinking?
That this is for tiny children, and they're not wrong.
Yeah, they're not wrong. I guess it's just a little disappointing. I was just like, okay, all right. So, a designer, game for for Animal Crossing. It was just weird. Speaking of weird, and another one that I'm just like, why?
We forgot Dreams, damn it.
Huh?
We forgot to talk about Dreams at Sony.
Oh,
when
yeah.
When you said weird, that reminded me.
Yeah, okay. So I don't even know what to say about that.
It looked awesome. Like, that was a game that looks so strange and creative and just ridiculously beautiful. Like, I don't want to create in that world. I just want to explore what everybody does in that world. I want to be a spectator in that one. I will buy that just to see what everybody else creates. I'm totally down for that.
Yeah. That looks like it would be a perfect Morpheus game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. One game that looked cool, going back to Nintendo, that they did show, which I've been hearing nothing but good things about. I'm just afraid. Okay, when Pokemon came out, I was the right age for it. Maybe a little bit older than I should have been, but I love video games, so I was kind of at the right age. And now what seems like the new Pokemon in Japan, they're releasing now to the United States.
Oh, was it Yokai?
Yokai Watch.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which one it is, because I know there's 3 of them in Japan. And the newest one has very much to do, it's set in the United States. So I don't know if they're using that one, or if they're just doing a straight up port of the first, which is probably more likely. But that's coming to 3DS. That's something I'm going to pick up just because I've heard of how good it is over there. Where I guess Pokemon nowadays, they're taking a lot of, it's the same RPG element, like you're going around doing collecting whatever and fighting. And you know how in the new Pokemon games there's a lot of extra stuff, like make them dress up or whatever. I'm not into that at all. And apparently that's what this kind of game has, a lot of stuff too.
Okay.
It's weird. I looked at the trailer afterwards, like a lot of stuff to do with it. It's really strange. It's one of those, like, I'm going to probably just get it and see what it's like because of just how much hype it has. But that was something that they showed, which I thought was positive. Moving on, we'll get out kind of the negative out of the way for me at least. The Metro Prime Federation Force.
which looked like something that was rejected from Nintendo Land. Like
this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the games that look straight up Nintendo 64. And I get it, it's for 3DS and it's on a big screen. When you're looking at the gameplay, it doesn't look that good. But I was just like, what? This is the most underwhelming way to bring back Metroid.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's silly. Like, we live in a day and age with Axiom Verge and Ori and the Blind Forest, all these games that are coming back so strong. The new Castlevania game that's not called Castlevania, it's called something else, but it's by the creator. You have all these, there's an influx of all these games, and you think Nintendo would put down their crown and go, we created this, and we're going to do it right, and we're going to bring it right. No. Again, they're just so... We'll hear that a year or two from now when people are just done with it already. They're like, we've been playing all these games that, were cool a few years ago. We're done with it now. And that's when they'll go, oh, we're going to bring back Metroid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now to something more positive, which was really cool. And I loved this since they announced it last year or whenever, the Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like, that's going to be cool.
That's the one that I'm looking at the Wii U and I'm like, oh, that looks so much fun. And I'm not even a fan of the Yoshi World games, but that looks fun. Like, it just the way, I don't know, it just looks amazing. And I want to get the Amiibo Yoshis. Like, those look cool. I would totally buy that.
Yeah.
And it's so different and unique, and I don't know. And it just looked fun. It looked fun as hell. And that's what I want. They also showed a 3DS game. There was a lot of 3DS stuff. I don't know if you noticed that.
There was.
Yeah, they're focusing on that, it seems like, and not the Wii U. But yeah, so they showed the next. It was a Mario and Luigi RPG, but it had Paper Mario in it.
Yeah, it was the Crisis of Infinite Marios.
Pretty much. They're like, hey, are you me? Me, you? And
who, me?
It was called
no, not me,
Mario...
you.
Oh, what?
No, not me, you. You, him, me, not you. I am you.
Right, yeah.
Suddenly I'm in a Rush Hour movie.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's where you're going with that. I'm like, what? but yeah, I thought the name was clever. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And that looked fun. It looked like people that are into that. That's what they like. They showed the 8-bit Mario amiibo, which was huge, and it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, that was neat.
And I saw that after the show, they showed a lot of the amiibos that they're releasing this year, like the Game & Watch and just a bunch of random ones.
Well, everybody else from Smash, really.
Right. I saw a picture. You know when it showed the video of the girl talking during the Yoshi Woolly World?
Yeah.
And it had the Yoshi dolls on the table, and there's probably like 24 of them or so. And the caption was like, "And here is the world," or here's all the amiibos we're going to release of this year. And I was like, that's it. Like, that's all they're going to release is the 24 of them.
Oh,
Good
geez.
luck getting them. Because that's what Nintendo's been doing, They're creating false demand. But yeah, so anyway, Metroid, the Mario Tennis is coming to the Wii U.
A new Mario Tennis game, because so many people were asking for that.
Right, yeah. They did the golf last year for the 3DS. Which I'm surprised that's not where it's going, but I don't know. I guess you would use the Wii Remote controller, right?
Yeah, except they don't really use that anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm wrong. But yeah, and they had and there's a whole bunch of other stuff I'm missing here, but it was a bunch of JRPG stuff that I just didn't understand.
There's a new Dragon Quest, and there was something else I don't remember.
There was a level 5 game, I believe.
PE was called. No, FE it was called.
Right, yeah.
Which was not. And then they also had a Fire Emblem Fates. And I thought
Right.
FE was just like a Fire Emblem spin-off because it starts with the same letters. But it's not.
Right, yeah. No, I had no idea what I was looking at one point. Like, if I would have been at work watching this, I would have had to hide my desk. Because I was like, what? There's jiggling going on. I was like, this is not a Nintendo game you want to be showing. And like the whole thing was in Japanese. I thought that was so strange. I'm trying to think of the name of the
Xenoblade Chronicles X. Isn't that what you're looking for?
No, it was a different one. Was it level 5 or was it someone else?
Well, Atlas. Maybe. Was it Atlas?
Atlas, that's
that
what it was.
FE.
Yeah.
That was FE.
Okay, yeah. And they're the same people that did Persona, but it just looks so weird. But yeah, and what are the others one? They had a no, that was Square Enix. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to think of the other Nintendo ones. I think that's it for like the Japanese ones, like the real Japanese ones.
Yeah.
They close it off. The Nintendo show with the game that I've been waiting for. I know you have too. The Super Mario Maker.
I haven't. I'm not interested at all.
Are you kidding me?
These kind of games don't interest me.
Are you kidding me?
I'm really not. It's why I never.
You don't like Mario?
Well, I like Mario, but I don't want to have to build my own.
You don't have to build your own. The genius thing about this is you can come home from work and there's 100 levels you could pick from.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Like every day, not just one day. The next day, there's a whole new list of levels that you can pick and choose from, and download your friends, or just go in and, when you submit them, I think it goes through a whatever process. I was reading it, and it's there, and you can search for it, or you can just go through the list or whatever. And I think that's so cool. Like, oh, I can try this level, and you go and do. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of levels with a bunch of dicks and stuff, and like the sun will slip through, But oh man, when they showed like it going from all the different generations of Mario, that is amazing.
Yeah, like their whole like vignette of like here's how we used to actually have to graph these out and everything. That was cool. Like I want to see more of that. That was really interesting.
Oh yeah. And they showed the little Mario, and he was like, he used to be able to fly in a cloud, and now you can do that in the new one. And like, it was just crazy. Like, and it got on that level that, I mean, people do this already. There's a mod or whatever that people do, and they'll create crazy Mario levels where they'll sit there and they'll release it for people to go through it and see like if they can do it in a certain amount of time. And some of it's the most batshit crazy stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where like it's just insane, and I can't even imagine what people would go crazy with this and do. And so I'm excited, and it'd be fun to create a few, but I'm more excited for just trying different ones, and just a different one week, a different one, the next week, because that's the thing with Mario games. You have 8 worlds, and then it's gone. And that's it. You've done all the worlds, you've seen all they want you to see, and it's a week or a few days later. Where with this, it seems like there's a little bit more legs, where it's like, people could be creating games every week, thousands of people, and it's all there for you. So it was intriguing to me. That was probably the best thing Nintendo showed. But yeah, all right, we're heading into the last conference, unless there was anything I missed.
No, I think we're good so far.
All right, so Square Enix, they showed a lot of stuff we already saw. Like, they showed the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, and it was the same stuff. It was the same with Final Fantasy VII. Like, it was awesome to see that trailer again, but it was just the same trailer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They showed the trailer for Deus Ex.
Yeah.
And it has an early release of 2016, which is cool. Same with they showed the Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy.
Yes.
And they also announced a Final Fantasy portable app.
Yeah,
where I guess you can get news for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's a news. It's an RSS feed reader app.
Right, and so I mean, I guess that's something they needed to announce.
I guess they needed to vamp or something. I don't know.
Right, and they one of their games they announced was the Nier. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Nier. I look Nier and Vanquish. Both came out in 2010. They were like 4 months apart, 5 months apart. And both of them were criminally underrated. Vanquish was awesome. Vanquish was one of my favorite Platinum games ever. Nier was one that you can see has that kind of really odd following. It's like this huge undercurrent of a following. People were like, yeah, that game was really cool. Where's another one of those? But it wasn't a giant vocal sort of anything, because the game kind of came and went. But I am so on board with a sequel for Nier. Because as soon as they threw up the artwork, I was like, well, hang on, that looks kind of like, yeah, but that can't. It wouldn't be, because that was like 5 years ago. And then they scrolled through all the names, and I'm like, well, okay, I don't really know any names anyways. This isn't helping me. And then at the end, it was like Nier. And I was like, oh my god, they are. Oh my god. I am genuinely excited. And it was just kind of it was the thing of like, hey, we're making this. Stay tuned. And I was like, okay.
Right. And what I guess I don't get, and you might, because he looks like maybe he's a part of the show, or the game. The guy that came out with the mask on.
He was a character in the last game.
Okay, because I'm like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
is this really what's going on? And what's funny is at the end of the show, everyone came out, and he came out
still in the mask, yeah.
And the way he clapped was the most awkward. If you go back and rewatch it, he just had this like, I can't have my fingers touch clap, but just my palms, and I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. Hey, I've never played the series, so
it was just one game back in 2010, and it was great. I loved it. I thought it was one of those that just falls through the cracks. You're like, this is something really cool that not enough people bought.
Gotcha. What did it come out for?
PS3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think they were planning a 360 version and it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't, and I may be wrong, and it did eventually come out.
I'm looking at it. Came out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Okay,
that's cool. Yeah, they showed Star Ocean.
Yeah, the fifth in the series.
That's another one I've never played. There's a lot of these games I've never played.
Yeah.
But what'd you think of that?
I'm in the same boat. I was like, hey, I know people who are going to like this.
Right, yeah. I was like, is this Phantasy Star or something? But no, then I kept seeing Star Ocean. I'm like, oh, okay. It's probably called Star Ocean, whatever that is, because I didn't know what it was, yeah. But, yeah, the way they announced it, it seemed like a lot of people knew what it was. So.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing. You're going to tune into a Square Enix conference. Odds are you're going to know most of their titles.
Yeah.
And they were kind of counting on that, you could tell.
Oh yeah. And I think that's why they did their own conferences here, because they kind of had a lot to talk about. They also showed off a new art, they showed art from a new RPG.
Yeah.
With their new studio.
It was a Tokyo RPG studio, right?
Yeah. Tokyo RPG Factory.
That was it. Tokyo RPG Factory. Hey, cool. A dedicated RPG studio. Go for it. Why not?
Yep. Oh yeah. And I guess we can get a little bit into their American style games.
Yeah. Let's start with the insanity that's going to be Just Cause 3.
That looks like so much fun. Now, see, I played the first one.
Okay, but you didn't play 2?
Never played 2.
Oh, you should have played 2. 2 was way more fun.
It's $3 on Steam, so I'll probably buy it now.
Do that. Do that.
Yeah, because the first one I loved. Like, I got the Scrapple Hook. I can do this. I can do that. I'm sure the second one is like that, but on crack. And this one just looks This one is on crack, meth, mainline caffeine, and adrenaline. All at once. Like, this is insanity, and it looks just ridiculously fun. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like when he was like, you can do you can have your grappling hook, but then you can pull it back, and it brings like there's that scene in the trailer where he's got the 3 helicopters, and they all just kind of pulling together on each other. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy's really just fucking up his mom's home. Like, he's there to kill the city. Like, he's totally destroying everything. Wouldn't that be funny if at the end of that game, like, his mom's house is crushed? He's like, I probably shouldn't have killed everything in this town. But no, yeah, I thought, that's the thing about Just Cause. I didn't care about the story or anything. I mean, hey, give me one. He's going back to that area. It's his mom's, that's where she grew up, and there's an evil dictator. I'm in. Just go crazy with the wingsuit and all the crazy gadgets and guns, and, like, it looks like so much fun. Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. So I'm in. That's a day one purchase for me. Yeah. And, I guess there's really only one more game to talk about. They teased it with an iOS game. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Get on with it. No one cares about this. But you're right, your point about they have shareholders, and they're like, hey, shareholders, nudge, nudge, they're going to eat this up. A Kingdom's Heart iOS game, which, okay.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
Yeah, and they showed, which I'm surprised they didn't end with the Kingdom Hearts 3 game shown. Right. But that was the big one, and that was the one where I think I heard someone in the conference go, "Thank you."
Yeah, and he took a bow. It was great.
Yeah. And they didn't show much. It looked like maybe they had stuff from what's that Disney movie with the long hair?
Tangled. Yeah, they talked about that. They had a video saying, okay. "Oh yeah, we brought a new world to this." Yeah.
Right, and I think that's where most of it was in the trailer they were showing. I was hoping for... I don't know if they can do some Star Wars.
No. Well, no, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, Disney Infinity has Star Wars, and you have Star Wars on a bunch of other things like iOS and stuff. I know EA has an exclusive deal with them, but I think Disney can still... I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
And I don't even think I would want that. I don't want all of those universes to mesh. I don't think it would actually work.
No? You don't think it would be cool to have a lightsaber sword thing?
No, Patton. Sit down and shut up. Your idea is actually really stupid.
Come on. I think it'd be cool.
Nah, it wouldn't work.
Wait. So, a Final Fantasy world and The Lion King work more to you than Final Fantasy and Star Wars?
Final Fantasy and Disney and Star Wars, yes. If you want to mix Final Fantasy and Star Wars, I'm game. If you want to mix Disney and Star Wars, hey, look, they found a way to do that. But if you want to mix all three of them in this kind of framework, no.
No, come on. No. You got Goofy in there, for God's sakes. Like, that's as goofy as you're going to get. Like,
sure, let's have Donald and Jar Jar team up. Why not?
You're telling me that you don't want to see Goofy in a Jedi robe alongside. Come on, the fans want that. You're crazy if you don't think that. I think that's what a lot of people hope.
I think there are occasions, not many, but there are occasions where the fans should just shut up for a change.
No. Oh, man. That's...
No.
I hope they...
No.
I mean, I get it. They wanted to show more of, like, this is what the story is going to be about, these two kids or whatever. And clearly they're rivals at some point. They're probably brothers. But, okay, I get it. I'm in. They know we're in. Like, this is Square Enix title where they can, I guess... wait, never mind. They have the Final Fantasy and stuff. This is one of their titles where they don't even have to just wait until it comes out. Like, they shouldn't have even said anything until it's ready. But I guess it's been a while, hasn't it, since the second one?
It's been a long time. PlayStation 2.
God, Jesus, yeah, okay. So, this is... I'm just afraid it's going to be 2000... I'm pretty sure it's going to be... No, wait. Where did I see? There was a video, it said winter 2016.
It'll probably get pushed.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't, because we've been waiting long enough. But I think it gets pushed.
I saw the forum. It was basically someone was taking a video, not at the Square Enix press conference, because it didn't say it there, but it was at one of their, like, VIP things. And at the end, it said winter 2016. Now, I could be totally wrong, and this could be all BS, because it was one of those, like, I shot in a movie theater where I couldn't, someone would probably steal my phone and break it. But it was one of those things. And it said the Kingdom Hearts 3, and then it said winter 2016. So, that'd be cool.
And that's entirely possible. And it's probably likely. Because we saw, last year when they showed it, it was like, hey, here's kind of like a tech demo of it. And now it was, hey, here's what this is going to look like. And it looks like Kingdom Hearts on next gen. It's exactly what it should look like.
Well, what do you think they would get? If they were going to get one of them, Marvel or Star Wars, which one do you think they'd put in there?
Oh, boy. I'd go with...
Frozen's going to be in there.
No, it won't be.
Frozen has to be in there. It's the biggest thing they have right now.
But dude, they're making such a big deal out of Tangled. That's how long ago the production on this started.
Come on.
No.
If this doesn't have Frozen,
I don't think it does. I think if it, dude, think about this. If it did, would they not have pointed that out instead?
Right, but they've been working on the Tangled probably for a while. They didn't just, I mean, they just did the recordings a few months ago. Like, I get it that it's been in production for a while, but Frozen came out when? Like, over a year ago.
Two
years ago. If it doesn't, I get your argument about Star Wars, and I get it about Marvel. But Frozen, that is the biggest Disney property right now.
Hey, I'm not arguing with you. I think it should be in there, but it won't be.
Oh, that sucks. That'd be disappointing if it's like, hey, we have Aladdin, Tangled, and Nightmare Before Christmas. Have fun. I'd be like, what? I don't know. But I'm excited. This is actually going to be one of the first Kingdom Hearts that I'm going to play all the way through. Because I played some of the other ones, but I didn't play them all the way through. I wasn't excited about them at the time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but it definitely got me excited when I was like, oh, they could have Star Wars and they could have, you know, all this other stuff, but it's kind of disappointing to hear that they don't. So, I don't know. It looked fun. Like, the gameplay looked really cool. Looked fluid. But yeah, so I mean that was E3.
That was E3.
Yeah. And let's see here. Where are my notes at? And okay, so the tally of the score. Basically, for me, for Sony, I only got one thing right. And that it was going to show Project Morpheus with games.
Yeah.
I was wrong about the name change. God of War. Last Guardian, I was halfway right, but I thought it'd get a release date this fall, but it's for next year. And I was wrong about Project Morpheus price. 300 plus. Microsoft, I think I got 3. I missed Battletoads. Gears of War announced. The No Banjo-Kazooie. They mentioned the HoloLens. Which is the 3, and I didn't count Minecraft because we're not counting that because they didn't really announce anything. They just showed a tech demo.
Yeah.
Nintendo, 0. Third party, I got 2, which was Mass Effect 4 trailer and Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. So it's like 2, 5, 6. What about you?
I got 1.
Oh, shit. Which one was it for?
I got 1. I didn't get any for Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo, but by God, if I'm going to be right once, just once, it's going to be that there is a Final Fantasy VII remake announced.
There you go.
Banged on that drum forever, and by God, they heard me.
Yeah, man, that was the theme, and that's why, like, if I'm going to break them all down, I think Microsoft and Sony were pretty dead even, but as a fan of PlayStation, I can't help but think that they pulled a little bit ahead just with their announcements. It made me more excited. I think in the short run, Microsoft won because their games are coming out this year. In the long run, I'm more excited about PlayStation.
Well, and here's the thing, and people will argue forever whether this is good or bad. Microsoft announced cool stuff. Granted, no, not going to argue that. Sony announced cool stuff that people specifically asked for.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I think that's good business.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they had to because they didn't have anything coming out this year that mattered. I thought we would get God of War this year or something where they were like, hey, we've been holding on to this for a while now, but no, we didn't get any of that. So they had to do some fan fiction stuff. They had to go, okay, here, they've been asking for these 3 titles. Let's give them to them, and let's just drop one after another and let their minds explode. And that's what happened.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and, you know, I thought EA did better than what they usually do. At least it wasn't just a bunch of, like, here's some pictures, and here's some people walking around Star Wars figures. It was much better.
Yeah.
Nintendo, I thought, bombed. Come on, Nintendo. Like, that's just... I don't even want to bring that up. And Bethesda did a fantastic first showing.
Yeah, for their first show, they creamed it.
They get it.
That was awesome.
Yeah, totally. Square Enix was weird and cool. I liked it.
Yeah, Square was just kind of like because I think they used to have a show.
They did.
And then they didn't for years, and then it's like it was like their legs were asleep and they were trying to walk again.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could think about it. It's like they kind of got it.
Yeah. It looked like an older style conference too. Like, of course, it wasn't the big, in the middle of the arena, PlayStation, Xbox kind.
And it wasn't like Konami's last few have been too.
Yeah, exactly. I went back and looked at some of those, and they are rough.
Boy, are they ever.
Yeah, but we're running a little long in the tooth here, so let me get some of the house cleaning up. Go to Facebook, We Geek Podcast, like us, share us, comment. Twitter, at We Geek Podcast. Our Gmail is wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Next week, we're going to have all the comics and stuff we didn't talk about this week. It'll be like 2 weeks of news that wasn't video games.
Oh, good. So we'll have another extra long episode. Hooray.
Exactly, yeah. But I'm kind of excited. It'll be 2 weeks of comics, so like maybe we'll get some more besides Secret Wars in there, which I'm sure we will. But yeah, and also we're trying. I don't know your schedule, Logan, but we'll try and nail down at least by Saturday to get it up and live. The Game of Thrones podcast. So we'll just talk about the whole season. I'll probably run through some of the episodes as well, just kind of refresh my memory. And then we'll talk about the season finale, and what we think's coming next. And we have no idea, so we're just going to be speculating. It's kind of, after this season, it's kind of anything could go. We're just guessing. So we'll do that. And, man, anything else?
No, I think that'll do it. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, rate us, give us feedback. Yep. I think that'll cover it.
Captain.
Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain.